Welcome to Wall Tactics Hobby Prep. So I'm deciding if I want to take 18 Dev Coptas. I'm just chilling. We're gonna see what's going on with the community. Don't always do streams on Mondays, but I'm, flexible sometimes. So welcome to everybody who's here. I know there's a lot of live streams going on and exciting stuff that's going down. So if you're here, it's for the love of the game, right? So I appreciate you gets. But because I appreciate you gets, I'm running this cult of speed because that's what the members actually voted on. They voted that I take cult of speed to some RTTs and then do the actual after action report. So I'm deciding, do I want to continue my current list, which has, 3, or if it has 3 units, or if it has 2 units with a bunch of different buggies. So here, if you're here for the love of game, all good. If you got places to be, let's get it stuck in dough. Of course, you can talk about anything. I have everything open right now for open discussions, or if you want to show me something, I can even display it. Possibly if it's something that we can all find valuable to learn from or talk about. So yeah, some run herders here. Here's a Dev Copter that I'm trying to match real quick, essentially. So yeah, for whoever's here, let me know what you're working on or what you guys want to talk about. If you have any questions, we're just chilling on a Monday. Normally I would just do this by myself and not talk to anybody and whatever, but I think it'd be fun because people said they like to do that. So what's up, chat? Oh, I see you guys right now. I'm the side. What's up? Whoa. And what's up? Mostly Ghostly. That's a dope name. 19. You have any? You got any speed paint marker? Have you got any speed paint marker? I mean, do you have any red, or what do you mean? What I do use is this acrylic paint. And I obviously have a airbrush as well. I don't know what you mean by speed paint marker. Like, do I do the speed painting thing? No, I don't know. But yeah, I'm over here. I'm up in here. So let me know you guys are talking about. We can discuss it to the best of my ability. Let's see. So we have Missed Raul Garaya. I haven't messed up your name, homie. Sorry. So let's see. War Boss. I had a brutal game last night against Drakari and Carnival of Spite. Triple 10-man witches, 2 squads of Helvrins, 2 squads of bikes with keyword witches. I got demolished. Help. This is actually a good topic as we move into the data slate. What I will say is, we'll see how many more Dark Eldar I have to place because, if you know, they're not too popular of an army, so you don't see them until you see them, right? I did play against a couple months ago, I guess, to a somewhat competitive level, but it's not to where they're at now. So that's the new detachment. I'll pull up their rules to make sure because I haven't, off the top of my head, don't know exactly all their rules to give advice, but there's more context to that, right? I know their list. Ultimately, I know their difficulties. Obviously, a lot of cannons to pop your actual and boats to pop your actual transport, a lot of anti-infantry weapons and small arms, abilities, galore, speed. Everything we don't like is Orks, essentially. Volumes, a bunch of units of chaff and trash to trade with. Yeah, they're definitely a problematic type unit. But yeah, it comes down to like context as well, what lists we're running sometimes too in missions, but they're definitely a difficulty. But I'll get back to your question, don't worry. And then you guys let me know also in chat while I look this up for the fun of it. Ooh. I wonder if I should have had a better way to actually access the keyboard. Sorry, guys, I used to do this, but don't worry, I'll be better. What else did you guys tell me? We got 2-day event running 30 flash kits. Oh, that sounds actually really fun, to be honest. I really like flash kits. I recently just ran 20, and then but that was on Warhorde. But you're running more DACA. That's funny because we were talking about what the community wants. That's why I'm doing this. But they also want me to run more DACA after this and essentially do the same thing, run an after action report. But I mean, community is the channel members. I put votes out and they on the poll and they got me with it. I was like, I knew they were gonna pick more. More DACA almost won. That's the funny part. The community would be like, no, we want to see you struggle. No, I'm just kidding. You still want to see me make it work, right? And honestly, the more I mess with lists, I'm like, this can possibly work. The issue with more DACA is I wonder, the real obvious questions are against high toughness armies or high toughness units. There's not really a great option for them other than like, oh, tank busters, right? But yeah, good luck with that. Love 30 flash kits for that detachment. Let's see. Hold on. I was looking at that. What the detachment was. The Carnival of Spite. That's the new one, Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to look that up. For real, that's the one that came out. That's when I almost dropped that. What else are you gonna do? You guys talking about? Main issue: stratagem to charge when unit ends. Oh yeah, ends a movement or advances than 9 of them. Yeah, I heard that they actually do that too. I bet you I'm about to be ready to see them. I guess because I play Cult of Speed, I guess I have a lot more trash and not like anti, right? That's one of the things people are saying about the Cult of Speed that I'm using right now. Like, I don't know. You're probably using Warhorde, and it depends what style of Warhorde. If you're going Elite, like I've done in the past, that's not good. Oh, actually, I got to put some stuff on this base. I'll do that first while I talk to you guys real quick. We're going to put more. I just had this out. You hate when you take stuff out. I was taking stuff ready out for prep, and I took my thing to put the... Okay, I guess I'll just come back to that when I find out wherever I put it. Yes, it matters. Do you have a lot of trash? You got a lot of trading? Do you have small arms fire? Do you have speed to initiate your own fights? Do you have maybe fly keyword as well? The ability to multi-charge units? Do you take advantage of heroic interventions? There's a lot of like attention to detail when you're dealing with someone like that in that kind of matchup, right? It's like there's a lot more than like, oh, you just do this. I mean, though, there is some of that, right? Of course, CP management, like I failed to do recently, but yeah, for sure. Let me start to get some paint on this though, because I lost my way with my actual to put the actual terrain basing on stuff on here. So this is the paint I like to use nowadays, acryl. It's so nice that I can actually place it and I don't have to thin it too much to get actually a good, consistent paint on it, especially because I'm just putting like a base. Promise, watch. Oop, I'm way over there. But I'm going to test it out just to be sure so you guys can see on stream. Oop, you guys cannot see. And you let me know what you're working on as well. I'm going to try to make sure I get to work on this. And as well, if you want me to pull stuff up, I got to pull up that Dark Eldar actual detachment as well. But I also want to make sure I do paint a little bit. Because I was like, hey, it's a paint stream, and then I don't paint anything. Just there, you guys. But yeah, Drukhari will take a lot more kind of like resource management because they do have a lot of shenanigans. And it's a back and forth, right? Because that's actually why I'm going to the RTT to try to get these more niche matchups. I've been trying to look for fights on Victrix Guard. People don't have the spammy yet. They'll just proxy them against me. So that's cool too. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. I thought you weren't gonna pay more Def Copters. Yeah, I know. Somebody called me. Yeah, okay, Discord, you guys call me, right? I'm not sure I'm using them. We're talking about it. All right. And yeah, the slap chop method, right? I didn't prime these, and I don't feel like busting out my airbrush because most of my stuff is painted. But yeah. I was going to put the basing. I should use the basing because I'm going to hold on to this git if I don't get him on there. But let me just get some paint on there so I can feel better morally about myself about, at least I tried to paint, guys, when I go back and go, oh, I didn't paint anything. Because on my current list, I have 12 Coptas, which I have been finding sufficient. But I find them to be so valuable. And if I really care to be competitive for an after act report, at the same time, I want to be relatable to a certain degree. And like not everybody owns or wants to run triple Def Copters. But then again, I have triple tank busters. So it's like, what really am I doing necessarily other than running a bunch of cults? I'm running a bunch of cult of speed, though. It's fantastic. Yeah, I only own 3 Copters, like Chad's saying. I finished my Stampa. Oop. Taking forever, guys. Sorry. I finished my Stampa in time to get to watch a 5-person playthrough. My fingers are like crap from working. Oh my god! You were with the Stampa? Oh my gosh. Well, that's if you do the Stampa, what I heard is horrible kits. A horrible kit to put together. Look, I got my Stampa. My boy was built up already. I need some water on this to clean this. Oh, of course I hit the brush. Let me fix this, guys. You know, your friend WAAAGH Tactics here isn't really used to streaming paint, right? So bear with me. I'm definitely not a hobbyist to that same degree. But we're talking about it, right? Like when we were talking about Drukhari a little while ago. Somebody else I looked to face. Obviously, we have the Victrix Guard. We have the new Guardsman. So yeah. And then we still have the other problems that were already on the table. So for some people in some matchups, like my cult of speed and such. So yeah, specifically what to do against them, more resources, I would always say. Like if I like to play a lot of trash, warhorde lists, have the ability to actually utilize your heroic interventions and such like that. So you can get, but then again, some of them times they have fights first. So, yeah, so it's a lot. I got to play into them more recently to give a solid, direct answer, especially if I don't know what your old list is. Oh, what are people going on saying? Sorry, you guys are running away from me. And the Raider transport, which is, yes. And of course, that's what I'm talking about with the initiative, where the Raiders get to let them. They've always kind of been able to jump out of their transports and do stuff, or like reactive moves to jump back in them or fight you and jump back into them. Of course, they have that too. But I'm just saying, like, yes, the ability to actually kind of keep them at range and have the chaff to do it. If you have just all elite stuff, like when I showed my After X report recently, where I was really elite with all my like mega knobs and such like that, well then yeah, I would definitely struggle with that too, right? So it depends on what you're running here. If you're running like a bunch of Storm Boys, like people hypothetically say, or this Cult of Speed list that I'm running, you just have a lot of different tools to kind of answer that question than just Warhorde. But then again, Cult of Speed has its own issues with damage, like Chat's saying. What's your go-to painting orc skin war boss? Currently, because I'm changing paints right now a little bit, right? So what I'm currently using is some acrylic colors to try to experiment because I want my orcs to be more bright. So I don't actually have a great. I don't want to advise you. Trust me, I'm not a painter hobbyist like that. Like what I've done in the past, is use just straight up GW paint, like War Boss green or all these different kind of greens I have over here from GW. I mean, I have like moot green, I have like warpstone layer glow, like old school stuff that you would try. I don't have one of those new nifty ways people like to paint. I just do the best I can. Yeah. But I'm trying to decide what to do with my gas for the skin. Well, what's the rest of your stuff? I like brighter orc skin personally, but some of my older models that I had back in the day are very dark. So, right, it's like, what do you actually want to do? Oops, I think I painted him on the spot. I wasn't trying to make him purple. But for the most part, I'll kind of spread the purple everywhere and then come through with the metallic. So what I like to do is kind of point out the metallic colors on all these guys, right? Use like a metallic paint, which I have over here also from Acro. Not promoting them like in that sense. That's what I'm using right now. So yeah. Get my boy purple. You don't know my scheme's purple. Here's my other Def Copter right here. All right, this guy's ugly. Right, one of the other ones I did. Go for like a metal rustic color, dry brushing, the rust, some different purple, a little bit of reddish to it. Blends the rest of my army, especially because at different times in your hobby career, as you expand your orc collection, if you get it on eBay or regardless of where you get it, if you buy it brand new, slowly your collection, some things will look different based off your skill, right? And that's just like everybody's experience with 40K. So you try to harmonize it in a certain way. Some ways I do that is when I'm doing replicates of models, especially when I do them in a rush like this and I haven't developed what scheme I want. I'll do them to a very basic kind of level, but that I still like on the table and that most people don't. I've never had anybody been like, oh no, you're not trying, right? Because I have a lot of stuff, and the rest of my stuff is a lot of detail. But until I figure it out, I'll keep it pretty simple so that I can come back to it and make it kind of look back together or find a way to make the units distinct, a little different and such. Like my other units, which I have behind me, I'm not going to go get them, but they're like they're really dark, almost like a super dark purple. And that's how they're distinguished on the battlefield. There's like a different kind of purple. So I guess, yeah, think about it. When you're talking about your orcs, just remember, as you develop and get a better painter, your skin and everything's going to change. It's good to write it down. I've written down my paint schemes as well for certain stuff, and then come back to it so that I, know what paints I used and such. So yeah. What else are people saying? Yeah, not transport those. I just did bullet boys. Yeah. 40 boys, 3 paint boys, gas, 2 wagons, had 1 paint boy and 10 knobs. Oh, that's awesome. You always hear that it's a potential that you can do, right? Because you lose the -1 to wound. But if you saturate the field with feel no pains, you might as well put a feel no pain on them knobs too. regen some good bodies. They'll have the invuln. It's an interesting take, especially because you're gonna, but you can reroll hits, so you kind of try to make up for the fact that you're not +1 to hit from a war boss. I gotta move this water cup. This is what I use for my water cup, by the way. It's a little ugly, don't judge me. Crusty. All right. Bring my stuff back in the frame. Always late, but you on time. Nah, you on time. I thought you were gonna paint. That's just funny. So you're gonna paint them. I only own 3. Triple def copters are awesome, and it's hard to get consistent. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've experienced too with my cult of speed. It's hard to get consistent damage. A lot of the time, I find myself scrounging, reaching for mortal wounds. A lot of the time, yeah, and in that case, I try to also look for ideal targets for my coptos. I don't go for just like the first thing I can shoot at with a strat. I generally try to find something I can get blast on. So typically, obviously, something that's 3 wounds or 2 wounds that I can wound well. That way, I can take advantage of the twin length as well. But I've definitely completely had times where I've shot 6D3 and had 1 hit. I've plenty of times with playing with them. That's why when people say you're missing damage, you got imagine that happening to you in the game, right? And you're just trying to kill something ideal. I've also had times where I just totally annihilate stuff. So that's why you have to have contingency, and why Cult of Speed's more about resource management and battlefield board control than damage. But you still have to consider what you can do. Like I always try to say, when you're playing that attrition way, you kind of like have to control the rate that you're dying, right? It's cool to die for points. You got to control it, and you have to be and that's why I like Cult of Speed, because you can do it. And that's also why people use max staff coptas. And I've been using a lot of buggies, which I really like. Yeah, I can say my list, I guess. Maybe I should have had like a thing up so I could just show you my list, but I'll just tell you guys my list. And yes, I'm not a great painter, so that's fine. Basically 0 instructions on the stomp put. That's insane. And GW gets you because they sell it for so cheap, point per dollar, which at the same time is just kind of artificial because it shouldn't be 800, but whatever. GW does GW stuff. Getting your stompa is like reaching, I guess, a certain investment in Orc, I guess, especially back in the day when you couldn't even play it, where it was like, oh, I can't even play this thing, but it looks sick. Oh, I could try to play it. I'm auto dying, right? Now it actually has rules and can win games at little events. Of course, you're not gonna win the event generally, but you're gonna do fun enough, win some games, have a great time, and that's awesome. And that's why I'm glad you got it too, and you put it together. Throw some paint on it, take it to an RTT or whatever. Watch the video on how to run it a little bit, and then get your own ideas on what you want to complement it with. Boom, you have a great time. No, I didn't release the list on the Cult of Speed list. I should have just like put it down on something over here, right? I should have wrote it down so people can visually see it. I can say it, but then it's just doesn't make sense. Well, I guess I'll just say it anyways. It's currently, right? And I'm subject to changing this. This is why you see me painting stuff, even though I'm doing actually quite formidably with it. So I have 2 baby mechs, a Zagrat Wartsnaga. Yes, I don't have Death Killer War Trikes. We can talk about it. I do own them. I'm just saying I'm not using them. This is 0 battle line. 1 Boomdaka Snazwagon, 1 Shock Jump Dragsta, 2 6-man units of Def Coptas, triple Megatrack Scrap Jets, 2 of the Rucker Truck Squig Buggies, 1 unit of Mandos, 1 unit of 3 Bikers, a minimum size Grot unit, Zod's Giant unit, 2 trucks. Oh, I think that's, and yeah, and of course Zod. Sorry, because I had a different iteration of this that I had taken to an RTT and had burner boys and stuff. Which is funny to talk about when Michael Mann put him higher on the rating. But hey, you know, speaking of Drakari, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need some more burner boys in my life. I assume that's why you put him high as well. Speaking of like T3 armies like that. What else? Let's see. Oh, let me keep going. Even though you guys are chatting it up. Oh, you guys are being me. The list I have, it's Lucas' list. Oh, Lucas Trollers. Yeah, his is 2 big mobs and coming out of the wagon. Yeah, I'm sure that's not ideal considering he's going to be able to make contact with you first. As you can see, when Troller played into his final game, and when we talked about it, right? Because you're acting like Troller in his list. Yeah, you just see me punch my mic with my nose. That was very orky. In that case, you can see a lot of the time when he was talking about how he just uses that list, it's designed about activating a turn 3 WAAAGH ideally, or turn 2 if you can maintain momentum and keep the enemy on that side of the field and kind of offset the score. And Drakari in that way, because their speed and such, you're going to have to look for an early WAAAGH if you're playing that Troller list. And hope you can make contact with enough units that it matters, and kind of just risk it for the biscuit when you can, to a certain degree. Not fully. You can try to bait him with the trash units he had, but his list was a bit more, smashy, punch you in the middle of the table, hold the ground. My painboy unit stays alive a little bit, falls back. I make some good hyper efficient fight on death trades with you and with my big mob, because it'll take you multiple units to kill my full unit. So you can take advantage of those things, and that's different, right? Your Artist Nails, but your Artist Nails isn't going to matter because all the anti, and because of all the their version of las cannons, whatever their dark lances, that's what they're called, that they have on their list. Your battle wagon doesn't feel that efficient, right? So yeah, it's totally, they have a lot of those ideal tools. Doesn't mean you can't make it work, but it is about setting those stuff up. And sometimes when you're offset on the matchup, when you can, like if you can make contact on them on search and destroy, go ahead, get stuck in right away, right? You know what to do, right? So it takes what mission you played as well. Because you can definitely beat them. Don't get me wrong. Warhorde can definitely beat them, especially because our awesome fights on death and such, and ability to be fast. Let's see what you got here. Other people. Sorry, I was getting behind on other chats. Okay, so I was saying Orc Flush, Cultist. It's Cultist Speed sub on Discord. Yeah. Oh, okay. You have some over there in the Cultist Speed sub on Discord. Yeah, because I'm doing the live stream, so I wanted to throw me those little, if you're able, throw me the Drakari rules in Discord. Anyways, I'll pull them up. I'm getting stuck behind. Let me check this. What you're talking about, Cultist Speed Discord. What is this? Oh, somebody was saying the list. Oh yeah, I did put the list in there too. Love pink orcs. Goes well. Okay. You know what? The pink, I think I'm going to do that for this run herder. Some of that, right? Perfect skid scheme, but I forgot to. Oh my gosh. I probably had the perfect paint scheme and I forgot to write it down. Gosh. That is heartbreaking. Let's see what more purple. I have a lot more stuff to get stuck on this. My dude isn't even purple yet. Gosh, I'm doing it terrible. That's why I knew I was just me painting, because I'm used to doing it on stream. But I'm not in a rush, right? As long as people are here and engaged and got stuff to stay, I'll stick around for a while. Luckily, it was a little bit more of a flexible day for me today. Finding the right pink. I have some over here also, so we'll try them out. I'll try them out. You guys can see what happens. I have so many pink paints. Had both extremes over the weekends. Oh, failed to kill a drone. Yeah, right. Failed to kill stuff as an orc player, and then another turn you annihilate someone because you spike hit 6s on Warhorde. That's why people like, the beast boss, because at least the rerolls make them much more efficient, like reliable. Get someone Josh. Yeah, oh, Mark Perry's here. I was like, yeah, that's a great reason, and it's Mark Perry. Shout out to Mark Perry. I put a paintbrush in my mouth. Exactly. I love playing the attrition game. That's what got me into Orks, honestly. The attrition base, right? It was like, okay, I can just get beat up and fight on your side of the field. Back when I started 40K also, Orks could regen a whole unit. So thanks for being here, Mark Perry. That's a huge compliment for you to just want to exist in the chat and talk. So that's sick. Hopefully having a good time. Congratulations on a bunch of life achievements. That's sick. Fantastic. But yeah, I'm talking about getting ready for Cult of Speeding. Mark Perry was talking about his secret tech. I won't expose it unless he's down, but yeah. So Mark Perry, of course, if you feel like saying something, of course, you can. But Cult of Speed is also what I feel like is going to be good into, say we're playing Drakari, for example, right? I got a bunch of stuff to run just in their face, bunch of small alarms fire, multi-phase activation, ton of different units, bunch of movement shenanigans as well. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I'm just spreading purple everywhere, guys, because I'm being too perfect, and I can't afford to be too perfect right now. Ooh, I don't know why. Okay, I shouldn't have made it on purple. You're right, but we're past that stage now. We're getting it everywhere, and then I'll come back through and fix the purple, the green. Don't worry, don't worry. I love the green skin. I do not. Even though I do have one orc that's pale, I don't. I don't make anything about green orcs. Yeah, I love to play the attrition. I love to play the attrition style of 40k with my orcs, right? Chaining body for points. That's what also I'm playing Cult of Speed. You have a ton of stuff. Takes a lot for people to kind of dislodge buggy sometimes and Coptas, and it's like no points. And you're in your mind, right? There's not really that many points for how much investment it took to kill them. And that's the fun part, right? You're like, oh, I got a bunch more stuff to throw in your face after this, bro. That's it. You just spent that 400 point combo unit to kill 160 point Death Copter unit. Okay, cool for you, I guess, buddy. Right. So we'll see what's going on. But I do have to obviously have respect for the new detachments that are coming out where I don't have the reps in yet. So we'll see. I'll probably get those over this weekend, to be honest. I also have game lined up. Hopefully, a couple games lined up as well on Fridays and maybe sooner as well. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited. Secret Tech Cult of Speed. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, channel actually voted for this as well. So it's a mixture. I was playing it anyways, but they also voted this and more DACA. And so Mork Perry's out here playing more DACA from what I understand as well. Well, I'm not spoiling anything, but he's been odd git all the time, right? Always doing his own crazy thing. That very Morky git. What else? 2 Ruckas. Yeah, the Ruckas is what I'm talking about with like, do I want to keep them? Before they had more efficiency when like you could slow down Death Guard when they're popular. I've had them like slow. Well, sometimes the Emperor's Children units can be inside transports and such. But I've also been able to like kill small backline units and scouts and weird little interactive 2 wound models or slow them, or I weaken them and then I go in there and I get them with like a biker unit or a buggy to finish them off. If they have a really killy problematic unit, I slow it and then the next turn I smash into it with Zod so that it never really gets into the mid table on its own terms. And then after the Rucka Truck buggy fires its indirect down the field at turn 1, typically it's only turn 1. I start, and if it is 2 turns, it's not always buffed by the mech, but very, very circumstantial if it would. But ideally, you would poke the Ruckas, shoot indirect at somebody, have some somewhat unreliable, obviously, results. But nonetheless, it was a cool opening salvo and fun to do. And then after I would do that, I would just chuck that boy up the field, typically just to saturate, to start to make space. And then, of course, he has his mortal wounds, which I have got off plenty of games, like versus Emperor's Children's game, for example, where I was dropping mortal wounds into the Demon Princes, or I've dropped them into Terminators and, Dreadnoughts. I've done a bunch of times different where the Rucka Truck, after it's done its opening salvo, it runs up, gets in the way, does other interesting things. That doesn't mean it's necessarily worse. It's 95 points, though, right? That was more of a tech piece. I'm not sure if that would be interesting to do into Vitrix Guard, right? Especially instead of just bringing more dev Coptas. If Ruckas were like 85, maybe I'd do it. I guess maybe, but maybe 80, but I don't even know. There's a lot more T2 kind of stuff around that I would want to use it on. I've had some good times with it though. Some good, really good shootings with it, and then some lame. So I'll come back and fix that guy up. But I'm trying to get more on there, right? And yeah, Mork Perry was actually one of the people a long time ago, like not long thing. During the data slate when it came out that Mork Perry was already running on Ruckas and talking about their utility. So of course he's always a Morky git. But yeah, thanks for asking about the Rucka trucks. Even though they are up for change right now. Typically because against these two up armies, right? I've had different times where they just like didn't do enough. Even it felt good to have so many buggies on the field as well. So it's like, do I just bring more Boomdaka Snaz wagons? Of course, there's like the option of always bringing just beast snaggers and beast bosses, but I'm kind of trying not to bring that. I wanted to kind of maintain as cult of speedy as I can, even though you could say tank busters aren't that cult of speed. They're in a truck, and the truck can pop a 4 pinfall, and it's awesome. I have like a bunker of rockets. I mean, that is very fun, and it goes with all the other rockets that I have on the list. So it's very good in that way. Where typically the enemy's like, what? Just everything just shoots a bunch of rockets at me, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's unreliable, but it's a lot, you know. So that's also why I have double mechs on there, because I'm taking advantage of the firing deck, and then when it's go turn, they jump out, and then if the enemy ever gets engaged with them and doesn't kill them for some reason, then they jump back into a truck, and I just rinse and repeat, or I walk around and do my bomb squigs, which are also very important for cult of speed. You need a lot of mortal wounds for all these units as well. So the tank busters bring me more mortal wounds, which I'm also trying to do on that list a lot of the time. They don't have a leader, obviously. What's up, Jank? Whoa, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. What's up? Yeah, yeah, I'm getting ready. See, I told you I'll see you soon, boy. That's the plan. What's up? Let's see. Yeah, people are asking more Perry what he's running in chat, and he's talking about he has tactical lists and more DACA lists, and he'll post them in the Discord if you guys want to check those. I can check those too, actually. Let me just get to it. Ooh, I'm not even showing to another painting point on these models because I'm trying to get some paint on them. Yeah, and then they got the new Harley Quinn detachment that came out. Boy, I was really busy at work, so I didn't get to watch the videos on it and get all the reviews. But I'll definitely do that at work tomorrow. It'll be great. We'll see if I see him over this weekend. If I see him, I see him. You know, that's why we're heading out there, right? Some people will take it easy. I'm gonna go get stuck in. This is a perfect time, especially when they haven't figured out what they're doing yet. Huh? Right? They haven't figured out their detachment rules. Might as well go punch them in the face now, right? Yeah, go in there, crump them right in the beginning when they're kind of figuring out, right when they're just little spores figuring out their detachments, and we'll crump them and be like, ooh, those are cool rules, but I'm in your face. Or I'm gonna get crumped and be like, "Oh yeah, those are cool rules." So that'll be cool. Yeah, exactly. Mark's not running the ruckus either, and that's what I'm thinking too. Is as I've been running them and trying to hold on to them. Also, it's like, well, you can bring more boom dakas, but then what are you really bringing? Just stuff, you know. -1 to hit auras seem pretty sweet, but you know, it's more samey. The whole point of, you know, Ruckus was also utility and mortal wounds, not just like a semi-efficient debuff and small arms fire. Totally different applications, and that's why one's way cheaper than the other. Okay, they won't be ready. Okay, they won't be ready this weekend anyways. He was telling me. Okay, yeah, Jank let me know they ain't gonna be where I'm going. So, we'll see. Some places like to implement them. Either way, my homies will probably implement them. So when I go do my practice runs, we'll see who busts them out. But yeah, sweet. I got Dread Mob, Huge Valley of Rockets, and at least they have AP. Yeah, they do. And you can put, mech with them if you really want them to do something. I remember with Dread Mob was played without any tank busters. That was a pretty good time too. I mean, they're good. They're cool in there. I took them with them. I've taken them before too. But it feels good to just have a bunch of rockets and be like, yeah, I guess sustain. You guys know I'm a Dread Mob fan. Yeah, he was doing indirect, like he was saying. Yeah, I was doing in Prime Eldar. See what I'm saying? That's also why it's like, well, do I want to retain the indirect buggies because of all these kind of units as well? Like, do I want to hit their kind of jumping and shenanigany movie armies units that jump out, shoot at me, and then jump back in behind cover? Like, I could kind of hit them with indirect. I'm also fast enough with those buggies that I can always kind of choose to shoot at those guys. They can't really hide them anywhere from me, especially because I have so many deployments. Only one time, really, have I ever had someone that I think we had the equal amount because my unit was like 22 unit models before, or 22 models. Yeah. 22, 23, something like that. And there was just one time when this Tau guy showed up and he had a ton of stuff. I was like, I expected you to have a ton of stuff, you crew fiend. So yeah, awesome Mark Perry though, right? And that's also why it's like, well, do I keep him? Do I keep him just for these kind of different little T3 armies that are coming out? Like, or oof. We'll see what's up. Let me see Work Perry also put in. Did he put in more .com or what? I don't think he put it. Maybe put it somewhere else. Bunch of good chats today, by the way. A lot of good gets today. We're getting stuck in. Good conversations to be had with orcs. Even though we're not sure, right? Like, is GW really going to give us any love? Right? I mean, indicators are saying not really. Not sure. Likely not is what we're kind of hearing. Not to burst anybody's bubble. But so far, it seems like we're not going to get any kind of point increase. I mean, decreases or increases. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something small kind of hidden in there. That people are kind of just overlooking and think that's non-consequential for orcs, so they call it nothing. Right? So they could just mean nothing if they're like, oh, it looks like they got a 5-point decrease to burner boys. Like, I don't know if they really say that. Some people might underappreciate it. So yeah, just subjective, right? Making me want to strip and repaint my Coptas. They were the first thing I ever painted. Not the best, but I've gotten metrically quick off better. Yeah, and that's why I was talking about anything that I have just that I'm doing that's basic. I leave it at a very base level so that it doesn't get too choppy if I ever want to go fix it. And there has been times when I've gone back and fixed it. And there's been times when I just left it and I just look at it and I'm like, yeah. Like I have a super funky Assault on Black Reach War Boss, the old one. Funky, dude. One literally, maybe like the third model I ever painted. He's on my shelf right there. You know, I take him to RTTs looking like that. I don't care. I'm like, yeah, dude. He still makes the paint scheme. I know he's funky, dude. Don't pay attention to that. No. He's great. Everybody else around him looks awesome, but so by definition, he looks awesome, I guess. You know, awesomeness by association. I don't know, but yeah. So I get you, right? Sometimes you're like, I just want to strip my stuff back and get it back to the peak and match everybody else, which gets certainly do. I guess I'm one of those gets that first. I'm going to focus on finishing my collection, which I'm getting close to in painting. At the same time, we're the big bad's next edition, so really, I'm tongue in cheek because I'm hoping and knowing and expecting to have models to buy and keep going. That's crazy. This channel started in this edition, you guys. What, the channel's like 2 years old, I think, and we're already around like this, and we have a WAAAGH for real. I feel like the WAAAGH energy was just calling, huh, for you guys to be here. All dozen people that are in live chat, huge thanks, because for you to be here on a Friday is for the love of the game, the love of the WAAAGH. So let me know what you're doing, and what you're setting up. Yeah, and if you're facing all these different new menaces, don't worry. I'm looking to get as many games as possible. Actually, speaking of, one of the things I want to bring out for the channel members is actually covering every faction with like tips and tricks or things to just expect and strategies to expect from the enemy. Yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna start making those videos, especially because wintertime. I got time. I'm gonna be stuck in more, just working. So this is another thing I'll be working on. So yeah, that's just to answer some of the chat right now. Ooh, is this funky? Yeah, it's funky. I don't care. Let's see what's going on with these guys. More people entered the chat. Ooh, let's see. Harley Quinn's mounted getting sustained. The exit also gets sustained. The tricks with a bunch of different sustained 5+ characters, a bunch of -2. Okay, yeah, sounds pretty Drakari-ish, right? Being more mobile. Making me want to strip. It's funny. This is all right, Jank. I'll do this, Jank. All right, let's get into it, Jank, because you want to talk. Jank always has fun insight. He says, definitely starting to feel like the calm before the storm for orcs. I'll be honest. I expect the rest of the edition to be low hype for orcs until we get it announced as 11th edition antagonist. Yes, which is why we're doing this stream and why I'm having fun and why we're going to play every detachment till the end, till we get to new books, till we get up the new rules, and we're going to up. I don't care. But you're right. I'm not saying dismissive of your rules. I'm saying you're being realistic. So in contrast, I'm also saying because I'm agreeing with your realism is why we're doing these streams and having fun with it. So yeah, and it's crazy to think the channel just existed for this, like midway through the edition or whatever. It just came out of nowhere, dude. I just spawned like a spore. Just some dude just ready to play orcs nonstop always. I was like, yes. I've already been doing it. Let me continue to do it. Well, thank you, Jank, very much. And I knew what you were saying, homie. I think we get some Bully Boys love. That would be impressive. Like, why would GW ever feel like they want to let like atone for Bully Boys? Why would GW ever do that? Because they know they messed up. Oh man, I mean, there has been times where they know they messed up and they went back and fixed stuff, but to be real, few and far between. I mean, Custodies would beg to differ, right? Custodies would beg to differ. Got the list posted. Now you got them. Okay, let me check them out. I'll read them. I don't think I want to show the screen in case I just show something funky like my toes. Let me see. Let's see, where are you at, Mark Perry? There he is. So this is Mark Perry's list, guys. If you guys want to know, all right. We got Gaz and 20 boys with 8 shooters, 9 choppers, and 2 rockets. So this is a hybrid unit because he's crazy. Zagra, yeah. You guys think I sleep? You guys, I swear, man. Everybody always thinks I'm just making up this Zagra thing. But more and more throughout the edition, it's been proven, right? You see him at the top of people's tier lists, and you see people functionally pulling him in a bunch of different detachments and a different lists with alongside Gaz. Now that Gaz came up, he's a great alternative. So yeah, freaking love this Zod. Love here showing up again near the end of the edition. But I interrupted my list reading, so I'm sorry about that. So then we have, it looks like we have 4 10-man, oh no, 2 10-man units of Shooter Boys, and then 3 10-man units of Slugger Boys. Let's see this. Sorry, chat was talking. Yeah, 3-man units full, and then a Snagger Boy unit. 3x3 Spikers. Oh, I see in this list. You show it to me. 3x3 Bikers. 3x5 Storm Boys. 30 Commandos. 10 Grots and 1 Mech Gun. So more time because I jarbled it up. A Gazghoul with 20 boys. 8 of those boys have shooters, and 2 of them have rockets. We have a Zagrat with 20 Grots. We have 2 10-man units of Shooter Boys. We have 2 10-man Slugger Chopper Boys, and then 2 10-man Snaggers. 3x3 Bikers, 3x5 Storm Boys, 30 Commandos, 10 Grots, and 1 Mech. Boom. Whoa, let's go. People thought I was weird for the after action report for putting 20 Mandos on that list. Right, I'm almost feel like I got to defend myself. What's up? But yeah, no, that's sick. That's a crazy Mordaka list. Of course, I think is that Mordaka? Yeah, you're putting in Mordaka. That's insane. Right. If you want, I'll bring it up here so you can talk about it because I feel like you have to justify that to the whole community at this point. No, I'm just kidding. This was a good idea. Obviously, a lot of activations for trading. Good amount of units that can activate from Gaz's lethal ability, and he's going to be taking advantage of that because he can pop the wall whenever he wants in that detachment. 30 Mandos to kind of keep the enemies at bay and take advantage of all their special small arms fire and their ability to assault and reroll wounds and such like that. So pretty fun in that case. I assume the 1 Mech Gun is because you have the points, and I guess you're crazy. Then who doesn't like Zod, right? Who doesn't like Zod? I feel like I don't got to justify Zod. If Zod unit was in any other army, everyone could complain about him. Yeah, they would. Whenever people know that I have him on my list, now that everybody's familiar with him for the most part around me, they're like, oh, yeah, I hate that guy. Right? And then I go, what if I go to take him out? And every single person I know is, no, dude, don't. He's anybody who, I mean, the friends, right? People don't like care if I'm actually putting my best foot forward. They'll be like, absolutely not. He's always one of the most detrimental tools. Like in the after action report that I showed, if I hadn't tagged, I'm gonna do a spoiler just because there's only like 12 people here. So if I hadn't tagged Karn's unit with Zod and the run herders, absolutely he smashes Gaz's unit in response. And it's just game at that point. Right, because he could shoot all of those. Right, but people are just like, oh well, just fight on death. Let's just say that happened, right? And you just fight on death and trade out with him. Well, if you see when I actually ran it and I ran at him offensively, it took everything to just kill the 20 dudes. Karn survived. So if he would have had the initiative on me, he would have shot his bolters at me, his pistols. He would have shot his plasmas at me. He could have decided to throw a grenade at me if he wanted to dwindle more boys out. That way my fight on death's weaker. And then you run in there and just smash out the whole unit, and then he would be the one at the end winning. So it absolutely did matter. A simple fight on death was not sufficient for that exchange for me to secure the victory. I needed to get that unit locked down on my terms so that I could run into him and hit him with most of my 20 dudes left over to clean up the whole unit and establish that side of the board control. Right? Whenever I play that mission, it's I smash you on your side where you want your natural expansion to be on your side of the field. I don't want you scoring. I don't care how many primaries are in the middle. You're not getting all right. I mean, we're fine on you're gonna earn every single one with my bodies on that objective. So yeah, I got too stuck into there. But yeah, people would complain about them. So yeah, check that out. That was great. Thank you for that, Mark Perry. But yeah, that's the fun. He said solo mech gun brings it down. That's hilarious. Solo mech gun denies bring it down. I love when people do this style where they're like, oh, I have one. Look at this. You put bring it down. I have this one stick. Here's my vehicle. That's essentially what you're doing. You're like, this is my vehicle, this stupid gun in the back that you're never going to get to. That's cool. Awesome. I guess, yeah, because you only have one grot unit and you can really string it along the back enough that one mech gun would make up the rest of the space. Not so much 6-inch deep strike anymore in the meta. Yeah, that's sick. Now, how does this unit with lack of AP, other than its strats, deal with like all these units? I guess you just have a lot of them. Yeah, really. Like I said, if you're around, you want to call in, you know what to do. Let's see what else chat's saying because Mark Perry's making people go wild right now. Chilling on stream and getting whooped by Blood Angels at this moment in TTS. The new Blood Angels, yeah, I hear a lot of bad things about them in the orky kind of way. What we think. So we'll see what's going on with that. Another unit army that I hope to see. Now I will see those guys around. People absolutely love Blood Angels. It's power armor around here. So I'll definitely see that. Hopefully sooner than later as well. But of course, I like to learn the rules and get used to them before I head in there, and then that way you have more tools into them. But also playing them is obviously a great way to learn the hard way. Might get whoa, or the fun way. If we're the big bads in 11th edition, I'm guessing it's Bad Moons themed. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying on stream the other day. Funky orc custom colors, aesthetic offs. Yeah, orcs are just silly, and I'm not a good painter. Didn't we get Bad Moons with a stop a box, or is it too generic? I feel like. Sorry, open up. I feel like we are going to do it because it's the most aesthetically pleasing to the eye and eye-catching. Bright yellow and green skins like that. So there's a good chance that GW uses that as our color and aesthetic going forward, especially because Uztak and such, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts with that one. But that's sweet. Please tell me they have Death Treads. Who, Mark Perry? No, but when Zug, putting it out for you, homie, right? When I run this Mordaka list that was voted on by the channel members on Discord and on YouTube, they said I could run Mordaka, and guess what, man? I'm gonna make sure I fit at least one Death Tread on my list. I'm gonna find a way, and if I don't, people are gonna cut this and bring it back to me and smack me in the face with it. Knock my teeth out. So great. That's awesome. But don't worry, dude. I want to bring them Death Dread. I'm gonna find a way to bring a Death Dread. Yeah, they messed up with Mordaka. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't know, man. At the same time, as much as people think that GW would like atone, right? There's total factions that say no, they won't, and no, they don't. So yeah, not sure if you'll actually see them get something because we have so many detachments. Why would they pay attention to detail on each one, other than that people are like, yeah, they murdered that, but no one's mad about it, right? Let's not forget. I mean, the community is what asked for it because the community was also just beating stuff up, like with it, right? People were also adopting it, like we've seen, not calling out specific names, but we've seen people who would bring it and then have it get banned at events that they would necessarily be a part of or know about and such because they're like, yeah, that sucked. And in the sense, it did suck, but it was also like, wait, what's happening right now? All right. So hopefully that's not happening anymore, especially not if we become the big bads. Can you imagine? Like, no, orcs are shooting us again. Get them out of here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Us and sisters ought to be the best friends, man. We'll see. Not the toes. Yeah, 30 Mandos. Goddamn. It's funny. Mandos lead the way, baby. Maybe I've been wrong about this because I was like, well, I don't need. I've been running 20 Mandos. You know, it's all right. I always feel like I have 5 too many, I guess is a weird way to put it. But maybe 30 is the key. Maybe we're all wrong. And just straight infiltration with orcs to make up for our lack of speed into all these units. I just have all this stuff here. If you get within range of them, you're within range of me. How about that? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're all wrong. Mark Perry is crazy, and he's right. The army functions to a similar tempo as Green Tide, but the lethal aura jail. The lethal auras while jailing and bullying folk with bikes, storm boys, mandos, while the boys develop the board state. Yeah. Okay, that's exactly essentially what you're saying, but you're saying way more articulately than me. Maybe that's the way, right? So maybe we're all wrong. We're running just 10. Maybe when I tried to push the envelope at 20 wasn't enough. The whole time I needed 30 Mandos. Oh, so if we know that's the new way into this guy's data slate, maybe I'll bring Mark Perry. If you're not busy, we'll bring you on maybe after the data slate so we can talk about it. Even if nothing happens, we'll talk about how we're going to develop this winning path. What do I do with my other paint? Oh, here it is. He says, lock them up. This is gas turf. Exactly. Let's see. Yeah, Blood Angels. I managed to pop Dante and Sangard. I'm running out of assets in the close game. Oh, yeah. The losing momentum thing isn't work, right? Like you start getting their stuff, but you're like, oh, that took a little bit too much gas. Or they're getting too much efficiency here. Don't worry, play it out, dude. Remember, dice matter too, to a certain degree. As in, like, sometimes, they're going one way, and you're like, oh, I survived that interaction. Let's keep going. Happens. So do you do any kit bashes? I have some kit bashes that I did. I showed them off on stream. I'm not gonna gram over there. Like I did my War Boss Omega armor when the edition came out because I knew that they weren't gonna have we're gonna have access into it for a while. Typically it's a mixture. I've done silly stuff like let's see. Like this is something I did back in the day, right? And this isn't a kit bash. This is just an explanation of like stupid stuff that you would do back in the day, where you would take an old. There's like a third unit of tank busters right now, where you can see how ugly he is. There's an super old run herder I'd had, and I used him as my rocket boy, for a boys unit. Oh my goodness! So it's not a kit bash. My kit bash is over there. So do I have kit bashes? I'm person that'll say I like to do 1-1-1 if I can. So like 1 or 2 purchase from GWs, and then like maybe a 3D print or maybe a kit bash, whatever I comes across to catches my eye. This was just funny. This reminds me of when I started the 40K the hobby, right? Where you'd get grot boxes and you wouldn't really have anything to do with your run herder. So then I took the kits and I took the bits and I was like, oh, I'll just make him a boy. Let's make him a boy with a belly, right? Whatever, dude. And then I stuck this on his butt, right? This when you would use this back in the day for mortal wounds. This was essentially a grenade. The orcs, I'm telling you guys, I'm sure this happened across other armies too, but orcs, our general rules that we had sometimes were just like delivered to all 40K. Like it's kind of weird. But I'm not going to complain about that. But this just reminds me of old back in the day, right? And then of course I have like the old tank busters as well. Right, I got those literally the first gifts I got when I started 40K were like the old resin tank busters. So that's why they look like that too. Because like they were super old. They were like some of the first models I did. And yeah, I'll go back and update them, especially their skin as I want to develop it. But because I'm just right now at the point where I'm like, I'm going to just make sure I get all my stuff painted to a good degree, because especially I like to take them to events and do stuff with them and have them fully done. So it's like, did I do all the detail or did I first get everything done? So I'm a little bit of both, where I have some models that are done exquisitely and then some models that are done just barely along the way. And most of the time when it's redundant stuff, it's like done as you see in me doing now, where I'm just trying to get them done. Like this is my 3rd unit of max def copters. Oh, these boys are getting put together as quickly as possible in the painting. As efficiently without being like insulting. I can just prime them. And these guys shouldn't have been black, but hey, it's wintertime and I didn't prime them a different color in time. Oh, let's see. I don't feel like using the airbrush yet. And yeah, orcs are the best kit bashing kit in the game. Time for you to get 60 Storm Boys. New meta coming. What? No, I'm just kidding. That's funny. When it came to Big DACA, you can tell the older players that know how to handle the army and the newer players that scream at GW to nerf it. Yeah, it was a mixture. Some of it really was problematic, but it was also like, I'm not going to name any names or like obviously like I said about the other thing, but the one thing that was funny, like that I know of, is some guys took it like to a team tournament and every person at the team tournament took that from the orc list. I mean from that one team. So they all had 5 more DACA lists, so they annihilated everybody. So that kind of event would trigger at least 40, 50 people that would then trigger rumors from each person, and then from there it becomes like a wildfire. So there was an event where, and this to me is a little bit of like the organizer's fault too. Like, why would you let 5 of the same faction for teams events? Like, that's outrageous. I know you want to act like I'll be the first to admit that you should care about your TOs and do whatever they can do so they can keep things going. But when you do that, it's almost like, all right, bro, that's what was the one of the team event then? I was running the same. We're just all running the same meta list, which happened. Which happened with more DACA. So you didn't wonder why, like, 50 to 100, then hundreds into 300 people from rumors. It blew up, and to some degree was true, like all things, and to some degree it was over exaggerated. So it was like, oh, that's hilarious. Are we the Green Lanterns? You equate us? I mean, that'd be a good way to put it. We're all superheroes, and there's numerous of us, like the Green Lantern Corps, and we're powered by our emotions to a certain degree, and then those emotions translate over direct power. And the more of us there are, the more power we have access to. And the power that we have access to is actually unlimited because the power is some sort of psychic power and slash, like, forever energy that's sourced from the Green Lantern Corps. And to our certain imagination as to the difference and limitations of our weapons and our technology. That's such a weird correlation. I don't even know how I feel about thinking about that. But yeah, no, too much for my work brain. Let's see. Orks of the man. I wish that big mech with the shock attack gun was not an online. What? It's online only model right now, dude. Back when in my day, right? Shout out to the games. This is what people. I know people have bad blood for James Workshop right now, for plenty of reasons, especially because it's changed as time passes, and I feel like they've gotten a little weird, but like in the weird and like the greedy way, right? But it's like where I started 40K was literally from a Games Workshop store. No lie. That's where the whole origin of WAAAGH Tactics was. If I didn't know about this game store and meet these people at this normal GW game store, that really supplemented my orc army after I had like a big out of Karks and I was going to quit the hobby. And these people at this Games Workshop and the worker there and everything just like assisted the whole time. And like I became the local orc player because they didn't have one, and it was great. And they were all awesome people. And to this day, I'll pop into that shop when I can. If anything, I've been thinking about going back there recently again. Not to like fight the people. I'm just saying like to have a good time and see people. So yeah, that's a weird kind of side thing, but that has to do with the first things I painted and such. Oops, I wet that paint too much. Kind of dried out on me, but it's fine. I'm gonna spread it to where I need it all over this boy face. Add more purple. Where are you guys at in the chat? Oop. Green Lantern Corporal. Yeah, somebody's gonna have to kit bash now, or at least print one version of that. I just want like a weird boy with the Green Lantern ring. No, right? This with the green. Then there's like a fist coming out of it. All right, you got me. Now I want that. Now I don't even. Now how can I get that? I got to write that down. Actually, we're recording. We got it written down. Forever. All right, so let's see what's going on. But that's hilarious. Can you imagine? I don't even want to let that go. Well, a weird boy with the ring lantern ring, just like somehow he ran across some Marvel comic book. He was like, "This is how it works, huh?" He just uses that to utilize his wall energy. All right, this is getting out of hand. All right, absolute chunky mini units of squigs and their squig brews. Let's see. Oh, they're going to Dare Herman are getting stuck in. Kit Bash 2 Lunas. Yeah, exactly. Where you take the kits from the Ludas and the burners and you break them apart into boys units with the old boy kits. That's fantastic. Great way to utilize your money and your value of your time and your models. Keep that up. That was a very smart thing to do. Really reminiscent of what we used to do. And that's why, like Mark Perry said, it's the best kit bashing army. I made 10 Storm Boys this weekend using Necron and Mortal Tesla guns as jump packs. That's sick. Okay, show me that in Discord, bro. Show me those Storm Boys. Let's see. I'm playing a 1K tourney this weekend, praying the Grot Revolution. Legend units allowed. So I took a big squiggle. Dang. Okay, first of all, nice picture. Let's go for boxing W there. But that's great. First of all, people always underestimate guys as a supposed, competitive channel. To me, I'm just an orc channel, but to the competitive channel, I actually have played smaller games because I teach people 40K or have fun with my friends or I play at work or whatever. And I'll play like a 500 or whatever once in a great while, 1,000 points. And to me, especially when you're just casually playing and trying to play with models you have, it's actually fun to play with less units and just use whatever you feel like a unit. Like Def Jets suck at 2K. At 500, they kind of work a little bit. It's kind of fun. And to 1K, Def Jets aren't that bad. And there's a squig off. That sounds sick, dude. I'm excited for you. Keep that up. That's that energy too people need, because when people get into the hobby, right, they want to know they can use all their stuff and to whatever the degree, and they don't want it to feel like crap. And sometimes you can make those units just go a lot further if you play them in a different format. All right. And that's why I like to teach people on different formats so they can use whatever they got instead of just using the meta 2K. Because I'm like, I don't think you even know how to utilize all these things you have access to. And you just got to get the basics down and the thought process down. Sometimes smaller games help with that, and I think it's really fun. When you got the right people to play those with, of course. Gretchen are like little sidekick for this construct. What an awesome idea for a weird Blood Axe weird boy where the Green Lantern Corps, right? Come on, guys. I don't know how to set this up. Remind me or something, reach this out. But this has to become a meme or something, dude. Someone draw this out. Can I do it? I'm gonna draw with the stick figure. Just an orc with a Green Lantern scream, and just manipulating a giant fist or face of Gore coming out of his lantern ring. That has to be canon somewhere in the 40K universe where the orc came across Stan Lee's work. Oh, no, that's not Stan Lee. That's the DC. Dumb, stupid. I came across the DC comic books. That'd be sick. Sorry, guys. All the movies are pretty much Marvel, so everybody thinks that, but we know Green Lantern is not Marvel. Green old-fashioned DC. Oh, should I put that question out there for our boys in chat? DC or Marvel? That's a weird question for a 40K. I don't think I feel like putting that as a poll, but I don't know. Some people start fighting about that. I'm just kidding. Let's see what people else were saying. I started the hobby back. I started this hobby back in October when Killer came for my birthday. Never been to a GW store yet. Also, local game stores are sick too. Like my local one, shout out to the local one around me that's been expanding. My local game store went from one of my local, because I've actually benefited from several, but one of my local game stores went from 1 play location to 2 to 3. And then one of those 3 locations ended up within 10 minutes of me, right up the street. It might be less than 10 minutes, right? So that's what I'm saying, guys. I got access all over the place. But yeah, so you're gonna end up playing those and having Killicans one of your first units. Also, me too. That was your first unit. That's a sick first unit. Make sure you have fun with those. They're little walkers, bro. That's so cool. How can you not like that? I had to make them work once I seen we had rules for them. I don't care what anybody says was meta. Bro, I make those cans work, and we did. That was great. And now we're going to make Cult of Speed work with these buggies. That's what I like to do. Obviously, there's way better other great ways to play orcs, but so no shame on that. But me, I'm a little tired warhorde, a little tired warhorde here at the end of the edition. I appreciate Gas with 20 boys, but since I've ran it, I'm like, all right, I got it. That's cool. Super killy mob. That's fantastic. But I'm going to use all the models I got for a little bit. Yeah, cans are making my dread mob work. Dude, cans are sick. That's sick that you actually got them to work in your dread mob. Some people, don't get them to work sometimes, and that's okay. To each their own, right? Like right now with our Call to Speed, I bet you some of you guys are like, dude, your list doesn't have a bunch of bikers. So if you got something to say about that, we can say something about it. But we all have our preferences too. Even if we're running similar detachments and like similar archetypes, there are some things that are just not for everybody for tools. Like my tool is where the heck did I put my stuff to put basing? Because that's what I really want to do, so I can let this just dry overnight. Where did my little basing stick go? Oh well. I dropped it. Oh well. What else are people saying right now? Support your friend's legend tourney. Yeah, you should. There's also we were talking about sometimes shops don't want to run events or RTTs because they aren't pay attention to them sometimes. So if you got them, support, have a good time with them, have fun. Someone puts on some kind of tournament, even if it's not the most ideal meta, don't give them a hard time necessarily. Enjoy it, right? Develop the basic core skills. Don't worry, as you evolve your connections to people, and you'll find out places to play or people to play with. Increase the skill of your local group. That happens too. The funny story. Okay, I don't know if I should get into story time because it's too anecdotal, but trust me, I can go on this personal tangent on that story, and it's funny. Okay, so if Orks got the red ring, yeah, Rage, no, that'd be the end. We win. 40K universe, we'd win. Kung Fu Orks. Let's see. Has anyone looted a Hammerfall bunker? I need to see that. If you looted a Hammerfall bunker, show me that. Show me that. What would you do that? You know what I seen? Our boy Daggers, right? If you've seen in other videos and such like that and pictures, where he took our fortress, the Big Head bunker, and he put that on top of a Stampa. That's hilarious. But no, I haven't seen anybody do the Space Marine one yet. Just yet. Let's see. I think this guy's enough purple, even though it's a little ugly. As you guys can see, I'm not used to painting while being on stream, but hey, we're going to figure it out. I'm actually having a good time. You guys are good company. You guys, great chat. Obviously, I should have expected Orks to be a great chat. Talk about what's going on too. And yeah, I'm going to make sure I pay attention to these new detachments more and look forward to whatever I see when I go to the event this weekend with my Cult of Speed. And yeah, I should put something out. Why is he showing your hands? Oh, sorry. Oh, it's funny because this is okay. You got me with this one because he's saying, why is he just showing his hands and pretending to paint something? First of all, I actually thought I was just showing my hands because sometimes I do that while I'm painting. So that's like a double joke right there in that. So I appreciate that. They're very fun. 6 more. Dude, if you can make 12 cans work in your dread mob, you're quite an efficient pilot because that's a lot of space and like slow units to manipulate. I think 6 you can definitely make work, some practice. 12, that's going to take some love, right? You could definitely still make it work with practice, but it's also going to take some love because you might take some licks or put yourself in some bad situations in some games. So yeah, do that for sure. And you got me with that one, Michael. All right, you got me with that one, Michael Myers. You're not painting anything? Yeah. Now you guys get it. You guys are messing me up here. Hold on. I got this. I'm going to keep going. I can't believe I do not know where I put my stick, the terrain stick, right? I'm trying to put some basing material on here. And I just took it out before. I was like, oh, here it is. I have it. And then I don't have it. And don't know where I put it. That is so disappointing. My dry brushes and everything, though. All right. So my main GW store is not all that great, but my local hobby stores are the best. Yeah, it comes down to the manager. Managers do have restrictions. And I know that if you're overseas, it's way, way different from what I hear. The stores overseas are different. The ones in out here have a little bit more flexibility on the person who's running it and owner in some ways. And it's also by who's there, right? So I know that it can go either way. And I know the local people at my local stores are also super cool. And there's also like everything in between, to be honest. Yeah, I guess, guys, you just watched me lose my basing stick thing in real time. How long have I been doing the stream? An hour? Whoa. All right. That's sweet. Yeah, we just talked about it. Mark Perry. We just talked about it. Oliver. 6 units. Oh, you put one in tactical too? We can talk about that. These are hilarious. Mark Perry is cooking. Mark Perry has been hiding, and then he came out with new lists, guys. He'd been in the warp fighting some demons for a while, and then he popped out like, "Ooh, what's up?" After he conquered a bunch of planets. All right, let me get some purple on this Git too. And let me read you this tactical brigade list Mark Perry's been cooking up, it seems. He has the tactical brigade, mega mech captain with 10 gits. And of course, if you guys got lists, you guys can show me a list and we talk about it. Show me paint. If you guys got cool stuff painted, all you guys should be talking interacting. There's a live stream, right? You guys got cool stuff to show me at Kit Bashes. You're not a player, just show me what you're working on. That's what we're here for, right? This is what the community stream's about. So Mark Perry understands. Mark Perry's he's participating, right? Who's this? Gaspacho too? It looks like somebody else is participating too. Right? Not all lists, but we'll also talk about paint too. So Mark Perry's list. Big Mech Captain with 10 flash kits. We got a Mega Boss squad leader with 10 Mandos. That's hilarious. 2 war bosses with knobs, then another Zod. Another, you can't let go of Zod, can you? I'm telling you, Zod works in tactical. We have Snickra, double wagons, and then we have, what is that, 6 unit Storm Boys or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 unit of Storm Boys. 2 5 menus of flash kits and 2 grots. That's wild. I know the Mega Boss Snob, he allows the unit to kind of hold there longer, so that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. So we're definitely understanding targeting people, holding them in the place while you set up the rest of your army on the battlefield. A bunch of missiles coming out, a bunch of these Storm Boys that go getting fights everywhere on their terms on the field. That's wild one too. That one, these are the ones that you got to see played. I'll try these lists too. Trust me, guys. If I get these after action reports and they do all right, I'll show you a little. I'll hint a little bit of how YouTube works. Okay. Yeah, put a video out there and it does poorly, it puts bad on the channel, and then it stops growing the channel a little bit, right? So that's why I'm like, man, I better do good on these after action reports. I don't want to bring down the numbers. So definitely let me know I can make them better. But if we do these after action reports, if I get them down the skill, I'll play all these silly, fun, crazy, wild, whatever. I'll play all these lists and show them. Once I get the groove on how to do it and it's entertaining, it'll be great. It'll be great. Trust me. I'll play off. I got everything. I got nothing but the will and desire to play every time version of Orks. That's literally what the point of the channel is. I play every detachment. Weirdo, but I love it. Yeah, Mega Boss Mandos. And then of course Zod, the fallback. All these units can fall back and do stuff too. So we don't kill that stupid Mega Boss, Mando Boss. It's funny. In a weird way. Oh, I'm even painting. Hold on, guys. You guys are getting me again. Oh, well, we got someone who's hooking up the chat. We have our boy Just Celery 6286 said, "Can't wait to play my kits. Still need to put new guys on the table." Well, thank you very much. This is just a fun community stream, so the support is greatly appreciated. We're out here to have a fun time and get stuck in. But thank you for saying that, being supportive. Helping pay for that fee when I go to the event. Let's go. Yeah, so sick. And yeah, you got to play with your gits, dude, and Gaz on the field. That feels super fun when you start running across the field, moving through unit. Gaz being able to just punch out any unit on the field, essentially, that we get stuck into. There are a couple, of course, people who be like, well, actually, more tactics. You take up this defensive buff combo. Trust me, he kills the majority of things. I put the math out on it in another video. He kills the majority of things. That's going to have a great time. And it feels good to finally have Orks and be like, all right, if you cross this line, is game. Right, to a certain degree, if you get within this 14-inch range of this unit, it's on, right? And we used to. There was a moment where we kind of didn't have that, where it was like, well, I might endure that. I'll take that check. Now people are like, okay, I won't take that check. So that's huge, and I think you'll have a great fun with it. Remember hard as nails. Remember CP management. Remember not allowing the enemy to tag the parts of your mod that don't have your characters, because then in that case you may not be able to destroy the unit and they can slow you and stop you on your initiative. Remember to have complementary units with Gaz's mobs, but of course there's also chances that you can just MSU it with a bunch of missile type units as well. So there's ways to run that too. So yeah, have fun. And even if you don't mean boys and you mean knobs, wherever you're running it, a lot of good ways to run Gaz. I've been a Gaz fan the entire time since the beginning of the edition, when people didn't believe in the war. So thank you very much for that super chat. All right, I'll paint this because you sent that super chat. All right, I'll focus. And then this one too, mostly Ghostly was a good one too. He said it would be a great stream to react. Hey, dude, I'm right here right now. You want to show me some kit bashes and stuff you painted? Go ahead, show me right now. Put them in Discord, put them on Facebook. Tell me where to find them. I'll go look at them. I can share them. I'm down. Whatever you want. Yeah, go. I'm game right now, guys. You know, typically I know we're doing more live streams. I mean, it's winter time. Let's do it. We're growing. It's time. The walls, if anything, we're getting bigger. The wall's growing because we're about to be the big bads of next edition. I was doing it again where I was just showing you my hand, huh? So yeah, I'm going for it, guys. We're out here. We're going for it. Trying to finish painting up my army. Trying to play every detachment to the end. We're trying to give more DACA a last run. You know, make sure I'm nice and ready. No backstock, no dusty gray, nothing that stuff. None of you guys either, dude. I see you guys in the chats and you guys tell me like, oh, I got all this stuff to paint. Start doing it. Last thing you want to do is be like, I got this cool list, but I have the stuff from last edition and the new GW stuff to paint. Dude, you'll feel like and then you'll get like a backlog. And no, dude, just slowly, even if you're not like tournaments, even if you're not hyper competitive, trust me, just slow working through your stuff. In batches, even like how I'm doing it to a minimum degree and then come back to it when you like it. Like freaking dude, my Mandos, the ones you see on my after action report, those are full kit bash Mandos back when the kit you have to buy the parts for it. There was no Mando kit, right? So I forgot when somebody asked me that earlier about kit bashes, but I had kit bash Mandos. I took like Imperial I had a Tepessa Scions that I bought like Neon Sprue's whole army for my that I had, and I used a bunch of their bits to act like they were really tactical, high gear, high tech dudes, and they had really dynamic poses, and they were like throwing grenades and like utilizing special weapons. And yeah, I had that for my stuff too. So it's fantastic. Oh, we have another super chat, and we have people finally. All right, guys, remember, show me your hobby stuff. I'm down. You don't gotta go watch my funky paint in the job. You can actually do stuff. So thank you again for Just Celery. Another $5 super chat. Whoa, let's go. Look at that support, boy. I appreciate that. Again, help him pay the way for this entry fee. So thank you very much for that. He says, what do you think of 3 bare bones beast boss on Squig and Warhorde? 330 for some chunky lads. I loved the after action. Oh, that's sick. Thank you for loving the after action report. That's what I want to hear. Trust me, it's going to be better. And I'm going to take better pictures. I'm going to make sure I do it better, more efficient. It's going to be fun. I'm going to remember because you guys give me feedback. I'm like, I got to do this now. And then I'm going to mess up my turn. I'm like, fuck. I'm just kidding. But as you were saying, that does work. You're taking it back to Warhorde. Couple keys here. I think, and that's points and whatever, I do find it valuable just to go ahead and bring Maz. Personally, that's me. I do think you still bring gas and such, right? If you can. And then as for the Beast Boss and Squigosaur, one Cunning the Brutal and one with Edwapa's Kill Choppa. At least Edwapa's Kill Choppa. At least. But no, definitely you can do that, bro. You're playing a little bit of Hero Hammer, a little bit of Monster Hammer. Yeah, I think the Feel No Pains, you get involved, you get some saves, you can pull in some big fights, pull off some cool heroics. No, absolutely, you should do that. I swear there was, it makes me think of something I had taken a note because you know how I look at different lists. I'd taken notes of a Warhorde list that had actually gone, I think, Form 1 in an event or something like that. And of course, I'm not saying the exceptions make the rule, but that's why we show these for the flexibility, because people get so worried and hung up on like what's meta. I shouldn't bring this. I posted on a Facebook group. They say that thing sucks and they only tell me one way to use it, and then I get discouraged. No, that's not what we're doing here. I'll tell you it sucks. Trust me. I'll still tell you it sucks when it sucks, but we'll make it work to the best of its sucketh degree. And then if not, then I'll also let you know what you could do to just, substitute it. But in this case, I could have sworn that I seen a list that somebody had taken Beast Snagas, and I remember now, I think. Bear with me, just Celery, because of the super chat. I guess I have time. We have time. I'll stay around for a while. What time is it? All right, I'll stay around. We'll see if we'll get to 2 hours most likely, but I'm gonna actually try to answer this question with a list that I seen that I thought was pretty sick, that actually had some reps, because I haven't run this style of Hero Hammer, even though I have. beast bosses on Squigosaur. It's funny you asked this. I was just looking at my third one. My second one is actually a Wrangler Squig. I might be able to reach it. It's not that good, so don't hate on me. Right. So this was back when you didn't have to take the knob on Squig, but I did. So I took this Wrangler Squig, and this is my Beast Boss on Squigosaur, one of them, because I have several. So people asked. So I have the Maz, the official GW version. What I did is I put a magnet inside of the base on the half part of his body. I can't reach him; he's on the top shelf, but so I can pop the top guy off. So I can either make him a Beast Boss or a Maz. But then I have this guy that I kit bashed. I was gonna put something there, so don't worry. That's why the blank spot there. I wanted his Squig to look sick because this guy would typically have Edwap as Kill Choppa, right? So I wanted him to be imposing. And then I have the 3D version that's printed that most people have seen, and I have that as my third, right? So that's how I like to do. People ask me, that's how I like to do it. I'm like, hey, take advantage of everything. Prince can be cool. Kit bashing can be cool. I'm not creative. I'm not skilled. But as for this list, don't worry. I'll find the list. Don't worry. We're answering your question with time because one, you're only super chat. Two, I got time. Three, I'm not focused too much on painting. I'll get back to it right now. But also, it's a good question because I was just thinking about this in a fun way, with my beast bosses, and I was thinking about it when I proposed it on a different video. If people wanted to see, so if I can find that list, I'll show you. Let's see. I think I know. Yeah, dude, you're cooking. You might get me cooking right here. You might have activated the chat discussing the old days of Squigosaur bosses, and are we going to use them in the next edition? I'll get back to painting. I know you guys want to see me paint. I know I'm artistic, but let's answer this just a little bit more too. Because I was already thinking about this. Let's see. So that was this week. Let's go one more back. Can you guys share? Don't worry, I'll go back to you. Can you share the list that played that the World Eaters player played in the after? Oh, you're right. I should have. How did I not totally put his whole list? You know what? I'm gonna put that in the after action report in the pinned comments, maybe. Right. So, oops, I just showed my phone. You guys are weird. I'm sorry, guys. I did do that weird. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm putting that in my notes so I don't mess that up. Thanks for that, guys. Oh, more guys in the chat. Whoa, thank you for that. Cunning but brutal. That's my boy right there. Guess Gazpacho, I think, from Discord. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Don't worry. I need to put that on list in the description, the channel, in the comments, because as I was trying to get out that after action report, I didn't leave enough. There was definitely information that I left that people wanted to see, because I was so worried about the time and making it consumable in a short amount of time, since sometimes my content's too long. And in that case, I left out a couple of the things people wanted to hear. So even if it makes my the list video longer, I will. Oh, I think I found it. I will cover those points. So thank you very much for that, for reminding me of that, homie. Where's this orc list? Let's see. All right, cool. So for the super chat, right? Because it's a super chat, I'm gonna give you some love here for my homie. So let me show. I'm actually gonna show this list that I thought was pretty sick. All right. Can you guys see anything weird up here? No, you guys are good. All right. And I had Drakari open. See, you guys, I was looking like earlier asked. But here's a list. Let me put your list on just salary. This was one that I seen that I thought was pretty sick that you might want to mimic. You don't have to. I don't know what you own. We're just opening it, right? But this is our boy. He did Form 1 at the GT, and he almost got to the precious 4-0 start, right? That's always key here, is that can you actually get to 4-0 with Orks? It's very hard. The Orks are struggling. There's no shame that you didn't. Got to 3-0 though. He was right. He was coming into day 2 hot. So yeah, with that being said, he had some success here. So you can check this out. But it was, and anybody can. I thought there was a sick list. I actually wanted to show people this, but they voted for something else. But it was double beast bosses, double beast bosses and Squigosaur, a mech with gas, Death Killer Wartrike with super cyborg body for that 4-up feel no pain, and then Mazrak's Cragback. The very hero hammery, 2 Snaggas, 1 10 boys, triple Def Copta, double 3 Def Coptas, so 2x3. And then 2 10-man units of Flash Kits, followed by 2 Gretchen units and 2 units of 3 War Bikers. So very hero hammery. Thought this list was pretty sick. So if that answers your question, Celery, you can absolutely run that. You are cooking. You are onto something. That was something that's been considered. Let's see if I can. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to make myself smaller. Here we are. Hello. So you're onto something, homie. So thank you very much for that super chat. Whoa, I appreciate that. I posted the new Storm Boys you did. All right, let me see that. Like I said, guys, add me right now in chat or post it in the thing, or if you're in Facebook, you have a Facebook group. I'll check there, of course, too. Let's see. Let me check at the hobby paint. Remember, there's a paint competition, guys. Oh, here is a stream. All right, guys. I was reading some. I don't see the Storm Boy, dude. You gotta show him. Where's the Storm Boy? Orc only hobby progress? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Thank you. This is what we were all missing. The War Boy is gonna get a buff in the data slate. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Stupid. And then I wish I had 50 Storm Boys so I could do that. I've been playing Gaz and the Weird Boy and Tactical. Give myself stealth, reroll charges. That's super funny. I like that, dude. Jump out, get people, and throw stealth on yourself. Gaz doesn't have the Megabot knob keyboard, so you can still give yourself stealth. That's pretty sweet. And the mobility for Gaz and just kind of throwing some big bomb, like, I guess I'm going for it, bro. Silly. Also, I've done where you give +1 to hit, and you're like, yeah, everybody can shoot now. That's also sucks, but when you could do 2 orders, it was kind of funny to do. Yeah, what's all you were saying? Sorry, I should be painting too, guys. It's a mixture. Got to make sure I keep going. You got to show me where the Storm Boys are, Mork Perry. I'm not sure. And the rest of you guys, I got my hobby progress going right now, guys. If you got some kit bashes or something you want to show me, let me know. Especially you channel members, dude. You guys are green for a reason. You guys got gifts. You're gonna take advantage of that. Use the system. Let's see. Let's Worm Boy. He said, "Nah, Worm Boy needs to go. Nothing is saving him, dude. Didn't you see the Dawn of War trailer, bro? They're trying to hype him up. He's gonna be the next big thing. No, definitely not. Yeah. Let's see. I run Blood Axes and Free Buddhas, Death Skulls. Competed for Ludas are keeping the score. I like the way you put that. Oh, what's up to the new channel members? Whoa, what's up again? Mostly Ghostly, with the funny comments too, coming in here, becoming channel member. Thank you very much for that support you get. Like I said, we're gonna be coming out with some faction tactics. So that's gonna be the next big thing I'm working on. And yeah, so hopefully you can see that and the after extraction reports that I'm coming through. So thank you. We participated for that entry fee for this weekend. So thank you very much. Super supportive of you. I'm excited. You get out here natural. Wasn't even gifted. He did it naturally. That was sweet. Who's this? Dog Pound General. Yeah, and you get with the 2 months. Let's go. He goes, when we get Modaka, you get. Whoa! All right, so I'm doing couple of speed, as you can see. And then we'll have the holidays and everything. During that time, I'll be adapting my Mordaka list. Maybe I'll keep playing this too, right? So you still might see this floating around because I don't think I want to play for just one RTT necessarily. But then I'll be putting my focus towards Mordakas. It was the second one. And then the Mordaka will be developed more, possibly next month in January when events open up again. And then hopefully I have some reps in with Mordaka because I'm not sure about them. Of course, me and more Perry talk, as you can see, and other people in the Discord are quite helpful for Mordaka conversations, but I have to actually play and see what I like to run, right? And one of the questions I've had is like the high toughness stuff. My meta's full of high tough things and 2-up armor save things. I like to have a lot of units to kind of complement that, mortal wound access. And if I don't have either of those in Mordaka necessarily, not sure what I'm going to do there. Unless you're playing like more Perry's list where he has a bunch of units. Yeah. So, don't worry. We'll get Mordaka into it. He's channel member, dude. He obviously participated in that poll. He's ready. We got a bunch of walls in chat. Thank you for those walls in chat. Dark Hermit. Man, the chat's popping. Even though there's 20 gets, like any orc, when there's enough of you dudes, a dozen around, 2 dozen around, things start getting loud. So let's see. Yeah, Red Ones has the hoodie for the Mordakas. Let's go. You're painting knobs. Yeah, dude. For as much as people were like, knobs are auto take right now, and I'll tell you that we're not auto, but very, very common takes. Especially earlier in the edition when we didn't have breakers and stuff. Knobs were like auto takes. And I was always calling knobs scalpel unit back in the day because they were the only thing that could cut out the enemy's problematic unit. But also, dude, knobs sucked before that. Like the edition before 9th edition, knobs sucked. Like anybody will tell you that knows me that when I would play with my knobs, or I wanted to always play with my knobs, and they were always trash. And I was always like, guys, but they have a better armor saving. They got 2 wounds, and I mean they kind of hit hard. And people were like, no, they kind of suck. I'm like, you're right. But this edition, they don't suck. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Get your stuff painted up and enjoy it. Who cares what sucks right now? You never know what's gonna pop out and be used. You want to be one of the guys who is ready to play the new detachments when they pop out, or you want to be someone who's running to the store to try to collect everything. You're gonna be in the mixture because you don't own everything. But you know what I'm saying. As much as you can offset those things, you should. Right. So thank you for that. And I haven't seen you around commenting either, so I'd post you up so you could show up. But yeah, knobs are cool. I never got to use my knobs before, so I got to use them a bunch this edition. And now I finally kind of moved away from them when I moved away from Warhorde and everything. But I still love me knobs. And I even had weird games where I'm like, I can almost do the mortal wounds with them. And the shooting ones, it never works. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Just know I'm with you on the mindset though. What else we got? We got just put I put my finished Bad Moons army in the paint. If you want to put that in a general thing, because that's not in the paint competition. Paint competition was for the Tin Boy of the Month only. So you should go ahead and put that in. It's a different location for now, but I can definitely post that up in general so people can check out the picture because it's a fully painted Bad Moons army from Mount Git. Let's see. Okay, we got the hobby pictures coming in. All right, we'll show some of those off in a second too. Just a couple more checks. I posted them in custom jobs. All right, thank you. All right, check out all you guys pointing me. Okay, people pointing me towards the comments. I mean, the pictures, hobby pictures. Finally, so let's see. I'm gonna start to share this. I'm gonna do it by tab. That way I don't overshare stuff. Boom. So this is our boys Gaspacho. These are his storm boys. He's running a storm boys. They're like boys hanging off the top of Tau drones. That's fantastic. Imagine they're like, getting around the field and such. Oh yes, and then some have garrots on top of them. This is kind of funny as hell. Look at that. This dude has a power claw. Like, yeah, I'm holding him on. Let me hit him. Let me hit him with this claw. Oh man, I love when people kid bash stuff. It's fun to see. That looks sick. This dude has a hammer. All right, dude. Yeah, I guess you got a hammer, you little git. Yeah, little yeah. They're a little small. I would say so. You're playing, maybe make it more beefy or wide if you're like the same width of if you're playing competitively. If you're just playing, for fun, they're just for looking, that's cool. Some people might think they're a little tiny, right? If they're a little smaller, but ultimately they look sick. And like I like this one where that dude's a straight big, right? You can see he's not trying to be small. He's sticking out the side. So I'm not saying it's intentional. I'm saying this might be the only thing people say. And you're also not done. As you can see, you have bits hanging off here and such. Doesn't look sick when it's done. Thanks for showing that off. See, people, even though Gaspacho, he plays competitively, he still has sick stuff to show off. I just closed my entire Discord. Okay. Channel. Don't worry, I'll pull that back up. Yeah, those are sick. I love when people do that in our community. That's what I was saying, man. You guys got to show me your work. I have a channel called Custom Jobs where people just kit bash stuff. Oh, here's Mark Perrigan getting funky with it. All right. Here I guess we're just showing off Storm Boys right now. Is Storm Boys the meta right now? What's going on? Oops. No. Let's see. That's odd. It's now displaying my Discord. Oh, here it goes. Wham. These are Mork Perry's Tesla shooting out the back of these gits. And these are little too. That's what I was saying before. Like, it's all good. These are proper boy size. As long as you put the boy size, you're wide enough. That's sick. And these guys have Tesla guns as their jetpacks. Is what's happening here. If you're looking at it, let's see what other Mork Perry. I think you get another picture over here too. Yeah, look at that. Especially when these get painted up, you're like, and they're shooting all their Tesla guns. They're like, it didn't really hurt. So clearly, this is just for flying, right? Yeah, it didn't really hurt that much. When they got shot by these Tesla guns, they're like, not. This is but a scratch. Well, thank you, Mark Perry, for that. Appreciate that for that work. And these are gonna look sick when they're painted up. We can do more of these streams. People can show those up. People are working on these Storm Boys. Yeah, because I do like the Storm Boys kits, but then it's like, man, that's a lot for just such a little amount of points. And then we have all these leftover work stuff. So let me beat these guys right now. No, let me paint this a little bit more. I have to get back into a little bit of painting. People give you grief about using a Squig Boss and 8 Hog Boys in Tactical Brigade. That's funny. Let's give him a Goblin Bomber mobile command. Yeah, you can give him good. Well, first of all, what I like that is they can actually fall back and charge. They can get orders for +1 strength. I'm looking for my brush. Sorry. They can get orders for +1 strength, which matters for their lance. They still get access to sustain. They can get stealth for defensive capabilities. They can get additional OC, so they can actually contest objectives. They have that thing to react to. So no, they're cool. No, absolutely not. Squig Hog Boys are legit in Tactical Brigade. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They totally have options. And keep using them if you want to use them. All right, let me make sure I paint these guys and I'll come back to chat. So build it up. Oh, okay. What's up, Dog Pound? He replied to the thing I said too. Yeah, you liked my comment when I mentioned Mordaka. I just got in the game about 5 months ago, so I missed the window when orcs were broken. Yeah, that happens, dude, all the time. Where people are like, "I missed that window." Like my nephew when he started at Eldar. When he played Eldar, they sucked, and then he found out they were good when he wasn't playing 40K anymore because he went to college. So that's definitely an experience people have also in 40K. So don't worry, you didn't miss nothing. We're the big bads next edition. So if anything, you got on the right time. Now you have enough time to play. Get good at the basics because we're not the strongest OP army. So you're not handicapped by super strong rules and nobody's copying your stuff. So you're gonna feel like you have a unique army when you go places generally. And then from there, you have good stuff to look forward to next edition. So this is a great time for you to build up. If anything, you should be building painting because I know you don't got all your stuff done, and you want that stuff done when you move into the next edition as much as you can, because then you can just play. You're not hampered by like, well, this is what I got to use. This is what I can use. And I don't know if you weren't here, then are you just griefing me then by just saying play more DACA? You just know they suck, so you're just telling me to do that? Interesting. Just joking. Okay, let me make sure I paint these purple. Because if I do not get these guys purple after 2 hours of painting, not even a base coat on them, that means they're not even an option for this weekend. All right. Let me put a poll out. I'm tired of you guys. Now there's enough people. There's like 15, 20, there's 20 some sometimes of you gets. What if I'm gonna put a poll out right now and you guys tell me if I should even consider these stuff, at least even if I don't do it, maybe I won't 100% take everybody's advice, whatever. The point is, I do want to at least get a vibe for where people are at here. If I can put a poll out, if it allows me, to see, should I use, or chat can just give me verbally right now, should I use 18 Coptas, or would that feel too much like using just what people already know is good, right? Because I think the one thing people are aware of when you play Cult of Speed is that you can play max Coptas. That being said, very few people even know Cult of Speed is playable or what can be played. So I might as well play the best version of it, right? So do I keep my weird, zany list with a lot of buggies, or do I go ahead and lean into the 18 def Coptas, and just see what they can do? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Ultimately, I'm still doing this. That's funny. He said if you think if you those see, this is what I'm talking about. Chat immediately had two good points back to back. Let's see. Oh guys, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Don't worry. I'm gonna put up the poll. I was like, why am I not seeing anything? And I had the wrong thing up. So all right. Yeah, you get what's up. All right, chat's popping. All right. I like when people disagree. Not because I want you to fight necessarily, even though it's fine too. Let's see. Don't fight too much, but you get what I'm saying. Let's see. Start. Okay, let's see the poll. We gonna get this, boys, right? You guys see what I'm typing? Okay. Don't worry, guys. I'm setting up a poll right now. If you're wondering, if you're here and you're on the side and you're bored, I get it. Thank you for being heroes here because I know it's Monday night. Bunch of stuff you guys can do. Don't worry, guys. I got that. Actually, that's a good question. I should ask you. If you're here, I do want to hear what you got to say because you guys are the real deal. If you're here, I mean, people who just aren't here because you're busy, I get it. But if you're able and you're here, well, that's pretty sick. You know, also what I got? I got the craziest, biggest compliment ever. Somebody showed me, their recap from YouTube, and I was their number one. And guess what? It was my own channel. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was really from someone else, and that was crazy, huge column. So thank you very much for that. That was wow, super surprising. But yeah, that was wild in a good way. Um, All right, poll time. Bam. Let's see what you guys got to say. Not a ton of you guys here, but those who are here, let's see what you guys got to say. So pretty much the poll is for the RTT. Are we gonna go just let myself go full 18 Coptas, the full meta cult of speed thing? Should I lean and keep my I think I got 7 buggies on my list. Should I keep my 7 buggies or swap the buggies for more bikers? Or do I go to obviously like more snaggas, more meta melee units, some counter charging units would obviously be good as well, like 20 snaggas and such. So yeah. You guys let me know in the comments for the polls. We'll let that run for a hot minute. But it seems like Copta's already winning. So I'm actually a little surprised, but I guess not really, because if you're here, you know that they're like the best, but at the same time, people do like theme. So let's see. What other people saying? Yeah, Mordaka has some play, but it still sucks. Definitely has some play, but it definitely sucks. No doubt. 24 Grot tanks, bro. People were getting Grot tanks ready when Dreadmob was first released, and then boom, got washed. And I was one of those people. At least I had some. And they got washed. My limited time fall in love with flash kits. Yeah, I freaking love flash kits also. Knobs, flash kits. I loved those units before they became meta. And I already had them and painted. And people were like, yeah, well, these guys are big and slow and they're blah, blah, blah. And then I use flash kits and now they're sick and they're on every list. And I own 30. Yeah, I own 30. So like I own 30? No, I actually do. I do. I think that's I have 20 painted. I don't think I have 30 painted. I just own 20. Oops. Let's see. Sad that nobody got Buggy and Crucible. That said, my buddy got wrecked by a ton of buggies. Yeah, it happens, dude. I'm telling you, I've been winning with my cult of speed list. I'm not doing this because I'm necessarily struggling. I'm just slowly adapting the list because I do think as the meta's changed, I could struggle more. That doesn't mean I think that I'm gonna necessarily fail. I haven't really failed yet. I think last RTT I took it 2 and 2 and 1, and the person I lost to won the event. And then his list doesn't even exist anymore because it got nerfed and he and I tabled him essentially. So it's like I just need to pull the trigger like a turn faster and I would have won. So it's like there's a bunch of stuff there. So like call to speed, and I've been jumping between detachments, and like now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show the after action report for this. Let's see. Yeah, when you beat Death Guard, it depends on what style of Death Guard. But what I like to do is definitely touch their drones up, meet them past that halfway midpoint in the table, get rid of that early stuff that they want to get in your way and chaff you up, keep them at arm's reach so they can't put the contagions on your, on their preference. If you got units like Zod to target Morty, that'd be fantastic, or just ignore him and kill everything else. Play for the mission. Yeah. Right now, I don't think Death Guard's in a great spot. But there is something to say about like utilizing the mechanic of stay further away from me so you can't get to me. So if you're off the action report, I do some in that too as well, kind of like keep that distance away from me. Let's see. When playing a niche detachment isn't enough, so you have to play a niche version of the niche thing. When playing a niche version isn't niche enough. Okay, that was actually a good comment. When playing a niche, I think you meant to say niche there as well. So when playing a niche detachment isn't good enough, so you have to play a niche version of the niche detachment. All right, I get what you're saying. All right, that was the comment for the day. You win that one. That was a great way to put it. Like, all right, bro, you're already trying to play the weird thing. You might as well play the most efficient version of the weird thing. That being said, that means I got to get those last 3 copters painted up too. So I guess that might be difficult, but man, there's a chance. There's a chance I can get those all done by Friday. There is, but not if I keep talking to you kids. All right, end the stream because of this chat. No, I'm just kidding. So let's see. Seems like guys are already going hard right now. Let's see. 54% are already saying cult to speeds. So percent. What other people are saying? Yeah. Dog pound tactical reading. Segment captain. Yeah, take up exactly Cunning what Brutal saying. Take up all the space so Death Shredder can't come in the corner. Force him in the corner. Yeah, you got to push them past that midway table of the game so that that way they're further back. And, hey, exactly, Jeng. That way they can't pick in terms of engagement on their terms, and you decide what they engage with, what objectives, and you can set up the proper counterparts units to it. So, yeah, I love that. That's a great way to do it. Of course, with Death Shredder. The Death Shredder are like their only thing that is that impressive. I mean, I guess there's like the Rhino dudes that can come out, but I really struggle with Death Guard since they, changes at all. Yeah, 18 copters is nasty. I guess I really do got 18. I might as well use them, right? Now, okay, you guys are making me feel better. And my boy Jenk here, Jenk said, I love the comments so much. I love that niche wasn't spelled right once. Okay. Well, dude, I didn't mean to do that. Don't worry, I would have spelled it wrong too. It looked like the auto correct was fighting the whole way down, but it doesn't matter. Orky to not spell it right. That being said, Ryan Jenks, a channel moderator on Discord. So shout out to this kid. Yeah, you're right. Right. If I'm gonna show up, might as well just play what's kind of considered good instead of just playing the most niche version of the niche list. I already was doing that and it was kind of working and it was fun, but if I'm being real with myself, just a little too much buggy case, kind of parking lot blocking myself, not enough good targets to indirect or slow. And copters feel pretty solid, especially if you have like that first unit to draw out their whole army and then you still have all the buggies and all the other copters to deal with it. Like, right, I've had a whole Tau army commit to my 6 copters and only killed 3. Not a whole, but it was like entirety of what it could fit in the firing lane. Mind you, I also mitigated some things that could get in the firing lane by tagging it or standing where it would land. That being said, it was still a respectable amount of vehicles, like 3 tanks and 4 tanks and some shit like that. So yeah, you can draw them out. And my boy's right. If I'm trying to, I shouldn't try to make it harder than it really is. Now there was a good question here. Not a question, but a comment made by our boy Has. He said, "Bikes are cheap now." I agree, and I think there's a true, like archetype and list you could run with a lot of bikers. And I've seen it, and people have shown it to me, and everything, and definitely better players than I have given it merit. But in my meta, and when I've run it, I've gotten dog walked by people that are too prepared for 3 wound models and the toughness and everything. And jailing doesn't necessarily work against the top table guys for me, or maybe I'm not executing it correctly or something. But yeah, my style is Like I just want to play out the game and fight everything and like chip damage and make you commit in dumb ways and control a field. Not necessarily hope I can just hold you, because what if you do meet that numbers of 3 balloon models, you just blend them and it's like, oh well, that's all I got. Sorry. But no, that doesn't mean I think they're bad. Trust me. Better players than I have also given them merit too. So it's a good suggestion, but I tried it and I didn't like it personally. Ooh. Let's see what other people were saying here. All 15 flash kits have painted like Nerf guns. I'm so on the fence about that. I think it's super cool, and then on the same time, I'm like, respect my DACA, right? So I'm on both. I'm on both. I have I think mine are one are they're painted like dark, and the other one they're painted red guns. So to each their own. Played some 2v2, played some ones. Yeah, Dog Pound. You should be playing 500, 1,000 points. Don't worry if you play 2K, bro. Trust me. Don't worry about playing 2K. Learn the fundamentals, learn the basics. One of my closest buddies who I've taken to Vegas for teams events, and he took a break from out the 9th edition, and he's been playing 10th edition to some degree. And now he moved, and there's a local place to him, so he wants to play more. But he plays CSM and he plays Knights, and like CSM is not that good if you're not super pilot and efficient with them. So I'm like, just play whatever you want. We'll make it work. And we play in small games. We play 1,000, and I'll play 2K with him. And he's a good buddy of mine sometimes. And it's like, we'll kick back, have some beers or whatever. I guess I don't drink beer, but you know what I'm saying. We'll kick back and we'll do stuff, and then we'll talk about your list. And he's been getting so much better. He plays, I'll play I literally, not people can't do this, but I literally play that what's it called, Tabletop Tactics, the 500-point Coliseum games. I played that at work because this is good, and it's super fun. So trust me, don't worry about the pressure of playing 2K because you see the models and you see the list, and people will tell you the game's not real and other values. It's just not true. It's totally different, and it maybe not be the same competitive, but it's still very fun. So trust me, play that, build it up. Maybe next edition or at the end of this edition, worry about playing 2K. But this one, just keep playing 5. Get the whole stuff painted on your stuff built up. You'll really appreciate that in the long term, and it'll make the hobby itself more fun and consumable for you. It's a lot of good reasons for it. What's up, J Hugh? Yeah, you already know, dude. This get, look, guys, see this get? I can't point at them. This get right here. You can check back to way back in Index Hammer. He put this out as a joke of like 18 Death Copter meta, and we joked about it a lot. We made like little memes about it, and like emoji I think almost came out from it, and then now it's real, and I'm running it. You enforce it. This is what I'm talking about. You know how people say the wall energy can produce anything in reality with enough belief? J Hugh himself and his paint skills made this matter real. So thank you, J Hugh, one of the channel OGs. You predicted these things and you made it true, you weird boy. I'm gonna rub that head next time I see you. All right, so let's see. Trying to make 10 flash kits of firing whack work, little mech works. Yeah, and blow the damn truck every turn one. Well, you need better terrain or better staging if you're getting turned to one deployed with one truck. Trucks are pretty small. Shouldn't be getting deployed turn one shot, my friend. Yeah, and also you need saturation to a certain degree, and if that's their biggest threat unit on the field, then they're going to notice it. So you need something else of similar, attention. So there's reasons for that, but I don't think you should be getting popped turn one like that, and you don't have to like expose it for everything. Remember, people can bait you. Don't fall for the bait, even though it's very normal for orcs. Let's see what's going on here. I gotta paint this. I joined the Discord finally. What's up? I'll have to post my double truck. They use a casual pair of special trucks. They made an OG truck and a current truck. That's sick. But show me that and show me in the Discord and tell me when I can find it. That's funny as hell. We demand a Death Killer Wartrike. I do have 2, and I'm not using one. He's gigantic, and he always gets shot. Talking about getting shot turn 1, Death Killer Wartrike will get you shot turn 1. All right, if you're just one truck, maybe not. But a Death Killer Wartrike with 6 dudes can that's real. And 132 meta, dude, I got 100. I literally own about 120 grats. Okay. And I was that guy that I did not know that could actually be annoying. I just didn't know. All right. I just didn't know. And I was like our boy, we were just talking about Dog Pound, that he's new. And I was like, oh, we're going to play a small game? I got the perfect idea. What if I just do an assload of grats and then you just can't win? And then I realized that was actually not healthy for your friends that were new to 40K, right? I'm sure an effective player would be like, yeah, I can handle that. I know what to do back then. But when you're new to the edition and you're just playing with whatever you got, you're like, what the is this? Right. And people just couldn't win against like the 120 grats. And I was like, okay, I'll stop doing that. People are like, can you not do that? My spatials don't feel that cool when I'm killing one grat unit and then touching another one, and then we're just stuck there. Like, yeah. No, I get it. But attrition. Let's see. Speaking of CSM, my favorite chapter, Night Lords, got a detachment around them. Yeah, I showed that to my same buddy because he's gonna start going to events again, and he wants to run his CSM more than he wants to run his knights, even though he has a commissioned knight army. This needs to come down. He has a commissioned knight army, so can you believe it took this whole stream for me to put this mic that much lower? That was so stupid. But yeah, Jay never joked about it. He was always he was always serious. Yeah, Jank, another OG since the beginning. He was not joking. He was serious. I think you're right, Jay. Were you serious the whole time? And like, you couldn't have been serious in Index Hammer, bro. I think Coptas were like 95 points or something back then. Like Coptas came down so many points than what they used to be. How many points were Coptas? Made me bust out my codex and look at how much points those stupid things were back in the day. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Coptas were like, oh god, you guys can't even see what I'm painting. Don't worry, I'm just slathering in the purple everywhere. Oh, here we go. Let me. Oh, I saw down more. Oh. Sweet. All right. That's better. So 132 regimental. No, I did run a lot of. I have done a Grot Revolution as well at an RTT for fun. It was like Stampa and 18 kilocans and Zagra, and a bunch of Grots. That list got messed up just because Zod went up 10 points. No BS. That list completely. How many Grots I had got messed up on that last because he went up 10 points. What are we painting for? We're painting for an RTT this weekend. And as the chat can see and voted on, they're telling me I should use 18 Def Comptas. And yeah, and I wasn't using 18, but as one of our lovely articulate comments said, I'm playing a niche detachment. I don't really have to play any more of a niche list. And I think that's food for thought that I'll take into the future. I do not take that. I'm not being sarcastic. It's actually a good way to approach the whole thing in the channel, right? It's like, I'm already going to be playing a lot of stuff, a lot of different lists, a lot of different detachments. I might as well play effective ways of playing them that I like instead of trying to play an even harder version of the same thing, right? Even though I'm making it work somehow, that doesn't mean I can consistently make it work. Especially if I go for more rounds and it might be too niche for people to even want to replicate. So who knows? I mean, people can have max stuff. I mean, people play TTS all the time, and they can have max whatever they want there. So I guess it's not too weird to run max Coptas. It'll be sweet though. I actually look forward to it. The Coptas have been fun, super unreliable for damage, but they have some mortals. They fly. The 4-up invuln feels fantastic on them. I mean, the reactive hasn't really come up too interesting, but you do have to make the enemy considerate. And, if you set yourself up enough, you're like, oh, I might move out of range of your cool charge into me, right? I've also had where recently where they weren't oathed because there was two other oath targets. I think they were like tank buster units and something else. And I were take oathed, and Gilliman went into a unit of full Def Coptas, and I popped the invuln, and he rolled too many ones, and I rolled too many 4-ups, and he didn't kill any of the Def Coptas. And that was great. So that happens too. That's the point. That's like the potential they have. Otherwise, the 4-up invuln doesn't feel that great. I mean, I've had cool situations where like a 4-up invuln buggy has tanked a bunch of melee damage and such. I have had that. It's just not something I'll like revolve my game plan around necessarily, like I can do with bait with the Coptas. Right, 2 buggies is almost equivalent points to a big unit of Coptas, but weird ablative wounds and mobility and value in the Vinvol. So it's sick. Also 15 flash gets king in Coliseum. I bet you do abusing people. I also don't try to abuse my friends. I try to have fun. But yeah, I've run funny lists in Coliseum. I've run like weird. Yeah, it's been fun. I definitely suggest it. Yeah, Jank was always serious. When JQ was always serious. New to Orks, doing Mega Knobs. Doing Mega Knobs with 20 boys and a weird boy for the jump and a few other things. Yeah, here we go. Get up the field. Welcome to the Great Wall, bro. Like, you'll have a great time with Orks. You know, a really fun community. You get a little frustrated, I'm sure, when you first starting to play Orks and build them, but they'll be have a great time nonetheless when you figure it out. Very unique army. And very satisfying wins, very satisfying models to use, and everything like that. So I like Orks a lot. And I'm telling you, I owned a bunch of other factions. It was like six. I was six, five, six. I gotta count like exactly. Like, do you count my Tempestus full size Tempest Scion arm a full faction? Like, I had guard and tanks and such, but I didn't like really want to finish the army. So like there was a lot of stuff there. But I had that's how much of a masochist I was becoming, guys. Where I had a guard army. I have a Tyranid army still that I've been slowly getting rid of, and my Orc army. Then I have Custodes. I had two different versions of Space Marines, and I had full Death Guard. Mind you, these are all lists that were full collection that I could run multiple versions of lists and archetypes with. Still got the Custodians right over there, right? And I have my yellow gits for my Marines. So I still found Orks to be the most appealing. And then I started the channel. So I played competitively, blah, blah, you know, seeing how I liked playing that. And then I played a bunch of different factions, seeing how I enjoyed playing that in 40K to the same degree. And then I was like, I just like playing Orks. And I just like playing Orks, and I don't know that many Orc players. I'm going to start a channel, and we're going to figure this out. We're going to grow the Orc community, and we're going to retain more Orc players. So hopefully that's what we're doing. So welcome to the Great Wall, homie. You have good models to start with. And yeah, even in next edition, if your Meganobs, like if new ones come out, you can put yours on bases or make them bigger or swap. You know, there's different ways that you can still utilize the same models. Like, people still have old versions of everything. I have the old versions of boys that are monopones, like pistol and chopper like this. It's like second edition or maybe fourth or something. But the space pirate Orks, and all I did was put them on 32 mil bases while they were still on their old bases. So they were a little taller and they fit in with everybody else. Boom. Use them all the time. So yeah. I wish you get an official WAAAGH-related Gutsmech war biker and a codex, and his backstory's badass. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying though, we just need a like epic character war boss. Like, I just don't know how else to put it. I keep saying that. So even though I appreciate obviously the ones that already exist and such, I really, really, really want us to have some sort of epic war boss character. So we don't know Mega Knobs are coming. I can't say 100% sure. When I say we'll say is there an older kit, you can check out the video I did with Red Ones Go Faster. You can check out the video I did last Friday, where I unpack why I think some of these things are changing and the kind of hints we've been getting based off Dawn of War and different stuff like that. So it's not that for sure they're getting replaced. But also with how GW works, you know, we just had Bully Boys where they were broken and they sold a bunch of those and the rules and everything, and their older kit just really lines up for new stuff, right? And if you, I know you're new and everything, I had other videos where I was talking about what to buy and things to maybe avoid. So they might be new kits. Nonetheless, bro, there's fun. It's already Orks 40K. You can still use those models, no problem. And you're gonna get duplicates. And the fact you got these out of the way means you can get other new stuff if you want and expand your collection anyways, and then come back and upgrade those guys. You don't need to worry like it was a waste. It wasn't. You can keep using them. And if they get bigger bases, just take the dudes that are on their current base, stick them on top of the big base using basing material. Now they're taller, they're bigger, and you still keep using them. Don't worry about it. It's and you'll if anything, you still a lot more kits and stuff to get. Trust me. Now people are also saying kind of interesting how little content creators out there for Orc competing how the army is. There's a bunch of different speculations or suspicions as for why that might be. I think there is a lot of content for them when you look at like the hobby side. You know, a lot of the biggest channels are also hobby channels in all of 40K. between painting or whatever it is. And there's other reasons I think people assume that, but I really just with what you're saying is why I made the channel. I didn't necessarily love the content that I was out for Orks. Didn't feel personable, didn't feel relatable, didn't feel like the person was expanding on the varieties of stuff there is, and if they would give a little touch. And here's the thing, that's why I'm here to try to fill the void and the warp. So, the more that we grow and the better we do, the more that hopefully it's value for you. And you can just tell me how I do that. So, yeah. And like Hammer's saying, you can print them. People like to kit bash with them for value. There's a bunch of reasons too. Yeah, I want Tuska. I want Tuska as an epic character. And WAAAGH needs to be, I don't know why, in my mind, I've already for some reason just been like, yeah, WAAAGH, not Legends. That's not the case. That's not true. I don't know that. But in my mind, I keep thinking that like he's not going to be Legends next edition. Don't want. Okay, it is getting a little late, even though you guys are all out here. So I'll get soon. I'll start to wrap it up because what time? Yeah, actually, I'm ready for work. But annoying. But yeah, this was a great stream. Surprisingly, I thought no one was going to be here. And I thought that it maybe be pointless if I did it. But I was like, you know what? We'll get some, and you guys answered my question. That was such a great comment, like Jing pointed out earlier. If I can find it again, I think this is good food for thought for everybody. Is like if you're already playing something niche or nuanced, and it already has its own learning curve, you don't necessarily have to give yourself a hard time. It goes with another good piece of advice I got from one of my friends that was like simplified, and he plays competitively. 40K is hard enough. Why make it harder? Right. And this kind of goes with this alcohol Abe saying, when playing a niche detachment isn't enough, you have to play the niche version of the niche detachment. That was a great comment. So yeah, thanks guys for joining. You guys are sweet for that, for joining here. You guys are the real deal. What's up, Jay Hugh? And did I even paint it? I gotta find that basing material, and then I'll make sure I get more on these guys. Don't worry. What I'm gonna do from here is I'll touch up the purple. It's hard when I'm on stream sometimes, to be honest. But at least we're here together. And you guys answered my question. And I'm going to put the metallic, the skin, some more stuff here to accent them, and they'll be battle ready. And probably when I get off the stream, I'll find the stupid tool, and then I'll be like, oh, there it is. And then I'll do it all at once. So fantastic. But as Jay is saying, what are we special for 11th edition expecting? I'm hoping Orc versus Guard with Yarrick's return. It seems like it's like Blood Angels to some degree. Maybe Crimson Fist. People are bringing up weird little facts like version nuance Face Marines. But it seems from what the most common thing I've heard was Blood Angels Orcs. The most common thing I've heard. Could be that. So that's just what we've been seeing. I don't know if you've seen a video that I did last week, but I think I said in that video too. Maybe I mentioned something else or I missed something, but let me know. And yeah, I would like to see Yarrick back. I do like Guard a lot. I like the Commissar Kane books. I listened to all those books. Like I said, I own the Tempest Assign. I own Guard. So yeah, I like them. And I'd be down. Morty and Glory is Morty and Glory is for sure my favorite content creator. Another big love fan that I'm a fan of from back in the day was Winter's SEO, right? Where he would always call knobs the nobles. I don't want to do a British accent because I would do it shitty as fudge. But something about how he would just be like introducing his orc army, and then he would get to the knobs and he'd be like, here are my nobles. I always thought that was so funny. So yeah, shout out to Winters, dude. I love that guy too. If somehow I could just get big enough water energy and eventually go across the pond and such, I would want to crump Morty and Glory and Winters SEO. Those are like the two people I want to play the most and destroy with love. Let's see. So this is not the biggest compliment. Like Gaz with Yarrick. Yeah, Mortian's my Yarrick at this point to a certain degree. So let's see. Also, older kits are way easier to kit bash. Yeah, they are intentionally. Etsy battle wagons. Yeah, you guys are all saying good stuff here in chat. But before we close off, we have one great here. Rakasta with 10 for becoming a YouTube channel member. Let's go. Whoa! Someone come up with more content for you, good for the strategy against other factions. Like I said, I was going to do with the After Act reports. You can see those are coming forward, and I'm preparing for that as well. So yeah, that's gonna be great. Let's see. No, he said, sorry. If I have to ask again, if I'm going to buy the Kill Team Rocket Crew box again, which unit should I build it into? What you should do is get an old box or a newer box of boys, maybe even get a box of boys, and then you can turn that new box of boys into both to a degree, right? So that's what most people are kind of leaning to. If you can kit bash kits out of both of them and make them bigger, to make them to kind of stretch the kit out so you can put them on both. That's what we've seen people doing as well with videos for that also. So if you get spare bodies, maybe you get a boys kit, you can use that. Maybe old boys, maybe some eBay boys, maybe some eBay AOS dudes that are cheap that people aren't using no more because they're a little bigger, stuff like that. Maybe I'm sure you could find cool stuff like that too. So no, that's a good question because you can actually expand those kits and keep those bits. I personally, I don't have them right now but next to me, but I kept those rockets as well, and I'm gonna kind of try to develop one of my Tank Buster boy units to look a little cooler because I have the old kit right here's the old kit Tank Busters. And this guy, he used to be the knob, but now I use a different guy as a knob. But like this is the old resin one, the first ones I got, and then I got like printed ones as well, and then I want to do kit bash ones if I can. So you can really you can do both. You can do both. So thank you for joining, becoming a channel member. Hopefully I do you justice and you find some good content on here for all the stuff you want to do with the gits and your Tank Busters. And yeah, people say I want to fight Voldemort and 6+. Oh, 6+ Tivo. Someone reach. We gotta talk to 6+ Tivo. I put him in a comment. Like, dude, how have we not done a collab? He was probably the first orc character I've ever watched that I actually liked, right? He was just, Steve-O's just busy. Like, he has life, he does things, he has a family, he's awesome like that, winner. So no, 6+ Steve-O is the first original OG orc content creator. Got to give credit where credit's due. That was the original boss right there. So I'd love to do a cross collab with him one day, dude. That'd be sweet. In his school walker armies and his Death Skull thematic army. No, I'm a for legit 6+ Steve-O fan back in the day. Then he had his Necron friend that I forgot his name, but he has Necron friend he would do after action reports with, and my cousin was Necron, his first army too. So he would watch his channel, and I would watch 6+ Steve-O, and then they would fight. Then I would watch fight my cousin. Dude, that's so OG, right? When you first start 40K, it's like the best part. You're like, I got to rival this one faction. Ooh, this guy has one too. Oh, right. And I would just beat the crap out of Necrons all the time. Yeah, that was so. Look, Steve was sick. So yeah, hopefully clip that and we can talk to Steve one day. So yeah, I think that's a great way to end it. With that being said, guys, thank you for joining me. If you're here, you're in a gangsta, you're a big bully boy. That's some love. I didn't expect anybody to join. Thought I'd just be floating around here. As for the poll, speak for itself. The channel let it be heard. The channel told me Cult of Speed is the way to go with the 57 win on the polls. So I'll make sure I work on this and continue to finish this out. Yeah. So it'll be awesome. I think it'll be sick. We got the Cult of Speed. You guys told me what to do. And a couple last things that caught you. I watched Steve-O. Yeah, Steve-O good because Steve-O literally will hit every single detachment. And sometimes I didn't hit every single detachment like Steve-O did. Right. And so that's why I would also like to talk to Steve-O because Steve-O, even though he's busy, he knows what's up. Right. He knows what units he likes. So I like one day we can probably talk it out. I think we're both Walker fans, both Dreadmob fans. Well, common ground there. We can like totally glaze the Killicans, hopefully. He said, I found you in Crumpin, so it was funny watching your debate with him over the kill rate. That's how he did it, though. He wanted to do it. So thanks to him for reaching out because he was the bigger channel, right? And he, orcs aren't even his main like focus. He focuses on everything, and that's sick. We're totally different, like what we're channel intentions, right? He's like fully competitive, playing whatever he wants that's most competitive. I play just orcs all the time, and I want to play every version of orcs. So the fact that he was even willing to do that, right, is pretty sweet. And I had a fun time. Seemed like he had a fun time, being argumentative and such. So that's kind of the point, right? That's even though he might not be playing orcs all the time, he had the orc heart in that debate because he was trying to fight for no reason. I was like, sure, whatever, let's do it. So that was sweet. Yeah, and we love you too, community. Don't worry. Whoa, that's cool. Yeah, Voldemort's sweet. His cork, you're talking about his cork video, right? When you talk about corks, if you're new, right, like Rasta and Dog Pound, go to Voldemort, and I think it's like the cork or the history of the orcs video or something like that. Excellent orc lore, excellent fun video about how the orcs are, Conan the Orc and such. Yeah, there's a bunch of good videos on that people need to do, and we do. I need to go on Red One's channel himself. That's what I need to do. So yeah, all right, fantastic. Well, with that being said, guys, I think we'll close it out. This went way longer than I expected, and I'm very grateful for that, actually. So it looks like I'll have to do more of these. With that being said, there's only one thing to keep in mind: is don't cross our wall, because we'll knock your teeth out.